Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Learned Mortality, Polar Night 12. Last time on Learned Mortality, LSR went stargazing. What'll happen today?
And now I'm sad. Let's go.
Good, you're in the right mindset for this shit. So, last time a plan was set into motion. We're going to be jumping forward as all through the night, the party has spent their time in different facets all across Antarctica. The majority have found themselves situated in the Garden of Chains, and with assistance from Oblivious and the butterflies that they have now found out how to control, a air pocket has been created in the main sort of central chamber here, the largest area for which a construction could take place. And alongside Ansler's ability, Val and Goose, construction has begun and the room has been turned into a essentially makeshift hangar bay for a submarine. The mechanically inclined, including Seiko and Lucifer and Bliss, as well as with Oblivious's help, have managed to excavate and remove what Oblivious has identified as her mainframe. Now, while you're taking this out, a sort of unspoken thing happened between all of you, excluding Oblivious, because what you have excavated right here is essentially a computer that has been waterlogged and rusted and long since forgotten. While Oblivious has insisted that this is what's keeping her active, it's essentially a hunk of rusty metal. Regardless, it has been brought to the hangar.
So she might just be pale blue dot.
There's some weird stuff going on there. And I've assumed that Murphy, Larry, and Circle in the Square Lassar have spent the majority of the time, as previously discussed, excavating the tunnel, removing as much butterflies as possible, and bringing resources back to the hangar for what is currently the escape plan.
Yes.
While I'm checking this thing over, does it look like this display would suffer from a color washout problem?
Give me a brains roll. It's not that it's suffering from color washout. This is a computer science terminal. It was only programmed to be able to output one color to save on space.
See.
Oblivious. What is your connection to this thing?
Well, it's what's keeping my internal processes running.
Shouldn't it be powered on for that?
Blink, blink, head tilt.
Seiko is just going to turn to Lucy, look you dead in the eye, and I'm just going to say, solar bullshit.
Thank you, Seiko. I'm trying to dig a little deeper than surface level. If this machine here, is there like a protection protocol for you with this? Or is there like a resonance with it? Maybe a Wi-Fi signal of sorts?
You're like an airline's black box. Those things are meant to last like 5 decades.
I mean, it's where I was installed. It's where I originated from. I mean, you saw flowers in the pavement. It was basically directly plugged into me, more or less.
That's true. Would you mind if I took the shell off this for a second just to peer inside?
I would
suppose I wouldn't. Go ahead.
He's gonna go to the back of this thing. He's gonna look for like the little twisty screws that are usually on larger computers like this, and he wants to take a look inside.
So the screws are rusted. As you try and turn any of them, they just kind of snap off.
The moment I see that happen, I'd be, Lucy, I don't think that's a good idea.
Seiko, it's a screw.
Yeah. Listen, look, hear me out, okay? Genesee doesn't have power, but Oblivious insists that this is still active. Which I have a theory, and I know it's kind of bullshit, but to expand on my statement earlier, we know Oblivious acquired a soul somehow. So, my guess is Oblivious's soul is probably being housed in this thing. And while it doesn't have power itself, last I checked, a soul doesn't need an electrical current.
I see what you're getting at, but I cannot help but
It's just a
feel
theory.
you're incredibly incorrect.
I'm probably am,
Because
but
I am still connected directly to this interface, and it is on, so whatever you're saying doesn't make sense to me. Just keep it safe and I'll be safe. I don't see what's so hard about that.
I look at her. I look back at the at the computer. It's like you said. It's obviously not on. Yes.
Yeah.
I look back at the computer. I just shake my head and just go with it.
Look, just don't turn it off for any reason. Other than that, I don't mind if you look at it, I suppose. It's kind of like you're looking over my body, but I don't have that sort of, what's the word? A natural guilt? Or is it embarrassment?
Shame.
That's it. Yes, shame. I don't have that, so go wild. I don't care. Just
Jeez,
don't turn
openly
it off.
admitting you're shameless. Wow.
Oh, naturally.
She looks at Larry and is just like, yes, and?
Encore, could you go find some screws about yay big? Oh, I can work with those measurements. He comes over here and starts dismantling this thing for some screws.
Tali,
Hell yeah.
by the way, I love the art for this submarine. By the way,
I'm so excited.
Yeah, so basically what you would see is Ancillor is, they found some basic tools lying around in this room. It seems that this room was what the good doctor used to construct a lot of frostbitten. So the chains that are held up above are able to just simply leave it suspended in the air as Bliss and Val are and lowered down. What you see is that Goose had been up near the top and had been essentially assembling a lot of the more mechanical parts, while Val and Ancillor are giving more directions from below, and Bliss is using his wind control to melt the butterflies into the underbelly.
and I imagine for Seiko, she'd have like I don't know a multimeter or something to strap to her like club arm, using her free hand to do whatever she needs. She'd be handling most of the electrical.
Butterfly powered.
We took one of the arms that should be on Circle and the Square Lazar from other places in the facility. We've seen plenty of them. We took a spare gyroscope that was lying around, hopefully, and we hooked it up into like a generator that LSR can attach itself to, so he can start generating spin in it.
Something I can place spin into to get the motor
And
running.
so you can also
Yeah.
detach yourself as well. If
Yeah,
you
like
wanna
a
move around.
the equivalent of like a turn crank that he can put his gyroscope into.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that you're going to be rooting Oblivious in the back of the sub, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like for Lucy to be sticking the back of his hand towards the inside. Does he
Mhm.
feel any heat? As if something is still working on the inside.
Interesting. I would say no.
Hmm.
Oh,
Well, Oblivious, you are an enigma. Happy to have you.
I am glad to be interesting, I suppose. I'm not sure what you're so interested by, but, well, I know the nature
yeah.
of souls is very ambiguous to you all, and I don't quite understand it myself in terms that I think I could probably explain to you. But I feel an intrinsic connection to them. Like there's an understanding I was simply downloaded with that I have access to.
I see. Okay, so you had a prelim to it.
Something along those lines.
Alright. Well,
Larry's gonna walk over to like the computer. I'm gonna try to see if there's a name written on like anywhere.
On the computer?
Yeah.
There would be the corporation that made the computer, probably? I can't imagine anything else.
Damn. Alright, so what's the plan for launching this thing?
I'm glad you asked. I figured I should brief you all on the idea.
Yeah, what's the idea? What's the plan with that?
Well, big ramp?
I mean, that would work.
That would
We
typically
have-
work if you're dropping it into the water. The water's kind of all around us.
Yes, kind of big ramp, kind of more Actually, Larry, you know what? I think you know better than I do. Angelo was describing a method that he used to get through walls of butterflies. We were thinking of using that.
Oh, you could. Oh, so are we just making like a large hole in front of the submarine and then lifting up the backside and having it slide in?
Kind of like a conga line, except we slowly push it through the wall until it's in the water. Is the idea.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're not coming back here, right?
I don't think so.
I
Well,
sure hope not.
Why don't we just, when it comes time to launch, we just pressurize the hull, open up the ceiling, let the water flow in, and just sail out?
But we could not open the ceiling. Please don't open the ceiling and crash us into the floor.
Also currently hiding from something up there, I believe.
There.
Well, open-
Yeah. Why don't we stick to the fucking tic-tac-toe guy's idea?
I think there's still one last finishing touch before we get this thing ready to launch. Alistar's going to go up to the side of the hole, and using the gyroscope, going to place on a generator and spin with it, and using the hardened crystals on the outer discs. He's going to use it like an engraving tool, basically.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's figure out a name for this.
Yeah!
Era?
Era?
Epoch?
I like Epoch.
But at the same time, submarines are often named after fish. And he is a marine biologist.
You could name it Gooey Duck.
Gooey duck.
God, no. Anything but that.
Let's not name it after a
What is
phallic
the oldest
station.
fish Bliss knows of?
Oldest fish Bliss knows of? Helixical fossils.
Oh.
It's 1,000 leagues at 10,000.
Nautilus is a little unoriginal.
It'll
but-
be Ammonite, Ammonita.
We shall call it the horseshoe crab because we're about to stand out like a horseshoe crab in a freshwater environment.
Wait. Cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish? That's a fun name.
You want to name it Cuttlefish?
Cuttlefish with 2 T's. Cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish?
This is a type of fish that changes color when it's threatened. And one of the things that typically people try to do to identify modern submarines is the sound that their propellers make underwater. Note, I say sound here. We have Oblivious. She can use that to make illusions. Meaning she can just make our submarine change color while we're going.
This is true.
I like both.
As long as it gets it out, I really don't care. But if Larry, you're suggesting Cuttlefish, you?
Me as Mike is suggesting Cuttlefish. Larry
Oh,
would
you
say
do it in
Epoch.
character, you bitch.
Larry would say
Character, he would
Epoch.
say Epoch. Murphy would also say Epoch. Let's see here. Oblivious would say Cuttlefish. I think Turkey would say Epoch. I think Val would say they're both great. What if we merge them together?
Yeah, let's merge them. That's what I was going to do anyway. if no matter what we decided, I was going to merge them somehow.
All right.
Cuttlepock.
Cuttlepock! Yeah,
Better
That's
than
it.
E-fish.
that's it.
Cuttlepock.
That's it.
The Cuddlepock.
Yeah.
I'm going to
If it
engrave
gets
it.
me home, I
in-
don't care.
I'm going to engrave it in like.
Murphy Patsy on the back, like, yeah, I feel you, man.
I'm going to engrave it in like impact font.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the side of the submarine is engraved with the word Cuttlepock, a portmanteau of cuttlefish and epoch, representing the time spent together here, the amount of effort put into this, and the amorphous identity of this submarine. Yeah, that feels right. You know, I don't think I could have come up with a better name myself. I love it.
It's only for a trip home. Okay, sure.
Well, it sure is a word. I think that's about all I can say about it.
Oh, I like it. It's got a nice ring to it, Cuttlepock. It's like, I don't know, it's like all huggy and lovey, but also it can stab you with a knife.
It's apocalyptically cute.
Well, this is the pretty.
From up on top of the submarine, you'll see Goose lean her head down and just be like, "You actually went with Cuttlepock?" I mean, no one else had a better idea, so yes, we did.
There was another idea.
Yeah, there was a lot of better
It's
ideas.
ruffling in the Lucian picks up the oblivious computer and starts ringing inside. Well, it's fine. It's fine.
Looked at the other names like Javelin or
Yeah, like Nautilus 2. There was
Nautilus
Exodus.
2, Javelin, Exodus.
Millie's Revenge.
We end up with Cuddlepuck. Love it. I love it here. Yeah, so I want to also mention that Eye of the Storm, I put Eye of the Storm there because I assumed you would want to go back for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why I picked it up. It's come with us.
And it was a quick trip to go back there because you again needed to reorient the airplane to get a little bit closer to where you think that the ocean will eventually drain so you can put it up there as a decoy.
All right. I'll get on board and I'll start setting up, I don't know, calculations for us to steer this thing. This is exciting. I've never piloted a vehicle before.
I mean, I believe you. You know your sense of directions, so.
I mean,
I
half the
think that's
buildings
good
are
for me.
probably going to be done by LSR.
Yes, but I think having a second set of eyes would help.
Definitely you peering outside of the ship would be great.
I can do it safely without fear of drowning, so...
Yeah.
He's just gonna finger gun that.
Float through the wall here.
Nice and cozy.
Anyone else who doesn't have a suit, I suggest you mount up.
Yeah, let's get you guys on board. I'll be...
Yeah, hold on, I'll help over here.
Hey, Val, Bliss.
Yes, Encore.
What should we do with them? Just gonna point over to the two over here.
That's a good question. I don't know.
If we have space, bring them. If we don't,
I know, I just kind of feel bad just leaving them here. I don't even know this one's name.
All things considered, I don't know if they're even alive anymore.
Encore's gonna, like, gently kick the arm of this one.
Yeah,
Like
it just
trying to
flops. It's a lot of, the tension in the vines is very similar to how a muscle will spasm when in contact with salt.
Alright. Hopefully we have room. I feel bad leaving them behind.
And if not, we can make a little bit of an extra space for him. I agree. Very proactive of you, Encore.
I'm trying to be helpful.
Return to the ice core labs and make the final preparations, gearing everybody up and getting everybody ready to go off to the lighthouse. Using some of this ice, some of these butterflies, instead of a gyroscope, I want one of the arms to be holding a big shield.
Ah!
Something that I could position directionally and have that be kind of like cover, almost like a wall.
Fuck yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm done.
Alright. Let's say goodbye to this fucking hellhole.
Alright, is the air set up in here? Is everything set up?
It's weird not having any, like, electronics. Right, LSR, are you gonna be good just navigating from back there?
LSR nod. I'd be able to interface with the sub itself from within Circle in the Square, and those control consoles would now be control consoles for the submarine itself.
Alright. And then, you guys push off?
Yeah.
New adventure!
As the chains let you down into the water, you can feel this sort of suspension, and for a moment there's this, going around, everyone just kind of prays and hopes that it works. The soft thrum of spin through the rotor, you're able to set off and pilot the makeshift butterfly titanium submarine, carrying every last hope you've got at the hole in the top of the Garden of Chains. Only thing left to do is figure out where to go from here.
Yeah. Let's move the airplane to where we wanted it.
So during the time of construction, Murphy has moved the aircraft over to the Titanic, and it is now sitting there with the weatherman, waiting for the water to drop.
As for the submarine, I believe the idea was that we would swing wide around the lighthouse and find some place to hide it up at the
Like ism.
Lake Ism.
Alright, so you make your way over to the Titanic. what you would see is that on the surface there is the shadow of the aircraft up above, still suspended there.
Trekking a wide berth around the lighthouse.
Just trying to keep out of sight. Gotcha.
And to start ascending up towards the upper shelf.
Okay. As you drive the sub up the side of the cliff of the upper shelf, you're able to see the suspended sort of chunks of rock and stuff that have been disheveled from the tidal wave, and you can see sort of remnants of Isotiller have even washed all the way up here. There are bits of metal floating around. And as you pull up to Lake Ism, really the only indicator that it actually even is Lake Ism is the fact that there's a big-ass cliff. And you're able to pull the submarine down into a little alcove along the side, normally something that would be already underwater, and you are able to keep it out of sight of the lighthouse's light. Essentially, very similar to what you did with 2525 earlier, where the light is kind of scanning over above all of you. It's not looking in any specific direction, it's merely just blasting out light over all of Antarctica. So, you do your best to say, not illuminated by it. And you park up next to a wall.
Honestly, I kind of feel like this whole thing's a little bit of my own fault, so I'll be with you, and I'll be fine. I've got kind of a handle on this whole vampire thing, and yeah, I think I can do some good work, so.
Just don't drop your pen.
If I do, I can grab it this time. Not worried about that.
Before we go any further, I wanted to discuss with all of you everything that we know thus far about Mad as Hell. Every time we've defeated him, he's always come back stronger. So, what do we do to ensure that doesn't happen again?
The logical answer would be not defeat him, but to do something else.
He doesn't seem like the type that would just roll over and die once his objective is done.
There's also the fact that there aren't any more builders left for the frostbitten, aside from the good doctor.
That being said, he's not going to die if you just stab him a bunch. He's literally immortal.
That might be my worry. What you mentioned about the good doctor, we haven't seen hide nor hair of him. I was afraid that he might just be biding his time, waiting for us to go and defeat Mad as Hell, so I can use him for whatever his dark machinations may be. I do not believe that the good doctor has been entirely forthwith with what he wants for himself and for all of us.
I'm also gonna level with you, LSR. I think the doctor is himself mad as hell because he has been burning alive because of this thing he doesn't have a connection to.
I think he's just out there absolutely losing his mind.
Well, if
It's
he was out there
possible.
losing his mind, we would have seen sign of him.
Unless he decided to be
But-
there first.
Over these past few days, we haven't seen a single indication where he may have gone. So, if we don't find him at the lighthouse, what do we do about that?
Well,
It's easy enough to deal with the threats when we know how they're going to respond. It's a lot harder when the threats themselves are hiding. They are out of sight.
I don't think the good doctor's a threat to us right now.
What makes you say that?
When all of you were leaving last time we talked to him in the Guard of Chains, he spoke to me about keeping knowledge about the suits, about knowing about them, he was very adamant about the suits. I don't know if he knew
That's
about
strange.
what was going to happen, but knowing that he is a piece of bliss, he probably had some connection to it. I don't think he's malicious against us right now. I'm sure his top priority is lowering the sea so he stops dissolving. And if that is him that broke out of the containment area like you mentioned,
Well, you've touched upon something that I am precisely worried about, Lucifer. Once we take care of Mad as Hell, and presumably the ocean does begin to drain, after that problem has come to pass, what's the good doctor's next actions after that? We've struck something of an accord with him, remember? We agreed to help him find his freedom from this purgatory. he catches wind of our escape plan, he will treat that as a betrayal and will be coming for us next, I'm afraid.
LSI, I extend to you. Why don't we just bring him? Why would he?
The submarine's
consider
already
this a
cramped
betrayal?
enough as it is.
We'll
We
find a
haven't
way.
found him since the wave.
We will find a way, Larry. He shows himself. I will extend that as an offer. But if he tries to stop us, I will be standing my ground, and I hope the rest of you will as well.
Of course.
I think point should be mentioned. I don't think he'll say yes. What will going with us accomplish for him? Keeping an eye on us?
That's another thing. What? All we could really use to convince him with is getting revenge on the corporation that got him into this mess in the first place. Not exactly something that I'd like to unleash upon the world, if you ask me.
I don't think he wants revenge. I think he still just wants everyone to die. All the frostbitten, those tortured. If anything, once the sea level rises and he stays here, I expect him to be working on the whale again. Eventually turning it on himself.
Well, if your sort of raising party, as it were, comes by, what's the chance they just blow him up? I mean, that could happen, right?
I'm expecting full intention of United either takes the information sent up by the other LSR and wipes the slate clean. That's including the entirety of the landscape here. Or they just want to take out our plane and have somebody else come down and recover. Which, sorry to say, we kind of have both things they'd probably be looking for with Millie's hard drives and Oblivious.
We need to keep what matters most safe, and it is those things. Bringing the good doctor into this escape, including somebody that unstable, is just not a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Oh no, I've been saying this the whole time. I really don't think he has any intentions of being a good person or anything like that.
People who build giant radiation death cannons don't often do, my friend.
I don't expect him to be friendly, I expect him to be rational.
That's a lot more than what I expect.
If
Then
anything,
why
he's
don't
been
we
nothing
stop
but rational.
working on expectations and start working on what we actually have, huh?
That's right.
We can go around in circles all day assuming what his thoughts are, but it doesn't matter. We don't know.
I mean, worst comes to worst, he's gonna point over his shoulder towards Squaresar. We can have a little chat with him and Camilla. Find his intentions directly. I'm kind of out of Sharpies.
Sure. If we have the time, sure.
I'll say while we're having this this meeting, I've been moving us around using the cliff of Lake Ism as cover from the light. And at this point, I'd say we're probably going to be passing by the marine labs.
Yep.
Okay. Stop me if anything occurs.
Alright, I will. You will notice that the rift that had opened up, this is interesting. It still exists. It shows you the direct plane of contact between the ocean and Lake Ism, because it is sitting on the top of the lake and it has not affected the ocean whatsoever. So there is a hole there with notably air in it. And you can see a bunch of writhing red down there. Seems like it got to the Moses twist also.
As I presumed. Use the shelf to my advantage. If we can attack this place, just like going up to here to like this corner, and then just cutting dead across the shelf towards the lighthouse. That's not that far. It's only 0.6 kilometers.
Alright, if that's your plan of attack, so be it.
All right, everybody. Last chance to discuss game plans.
So far, about Mattis Hill, what we've been able to derive is that, one, that giant fish is a weapon of choice for them.
He messes with minds, right?
Sort of.
Probably means that there's something else out there like what you encountered, Lucifer. Which was, remind me again what you... It was like an orb, right?
Yes,
Oh,
the
yeah, that
orb
that-
itself melded into a mockery of my sibling.
Wait, like the orb that we saw over you with the crows?
The orb, yes.
Because I'm pretty sure I watched him try to break the dome with that as like the centerpiece of his warhammer.
Well, sorry, he has a hammer made out of that singing stuff?
There might be two. One's just quieter.
Yeah, I mean, we know how to deal with it, right, Lucy?
Well, kind of.
Well, now that all of you have these fancy schmancy insulated suits, just as long as you don't experience any unprecedented breaches in your suits.
I feel like I'm about to walk into a three-legged race. I feel very awkward in this thing.
I can assume your hair is pushing up against your head.
It sucks.
You'll adjust to it, don't worry. It's there to keep you safe.
No, doesn't mean I like it.
And speaking of which, while I was back at the Ice Core Labs getting myself refitted with some new implements, I created this handy shield. I was thinking that likely my times as a backline artilleryman are over. I will probably be joining you at the front lines. Last time we had an encounter with Mad as Hell, an ice dome around the labs down in the south was enough to withstand against his attacks. So I tried to fit myself with a shield of a similar design. Hopefully, by putting spin into this shield, I'll be able to draw most of Mad as Hell's ire.
Alright,
Help
just
me
make
buy us
sure
enough
that-
time. Yes, Lucifer?
Just make sure that you're conscious of whether your gyroscope or your shield has the spin in it.
Of course. If we buy ourselves enough time in this upcoming encounter, I, using the powers of spin, should be able to render Mad as Hell into a more harmless state. I shall do my best to try to cripple his offensive capabilities while still keeping him alive, so that we don't have to deal with him coming back stronger again.
Sounds like a plan. When you say it with confidence.
I mean, what are we gonna do? Drain the ocean, trap what's left of Mad as Hell body in like an ice guppy, and just keep him in a fishbowl in your dimension?
It might be what he's trying to do to himself currently. I'm sure you've all noticed the strange current that seems to be flowing in the direction of the lighthouse that's pervading the entirety of this unnatural flood. I feel like it could be something that Mad as Hell is trying to reconstruct using the butterflies.
I suppose that's true. We didn't really consider that he might be making something while we've been, you know.
Another
We haven't seen hide nor
weapon,
tail of him
perhaps?
since the Warhammer incident.
Another
Yeah.
weapon, perhaps. Maybe
Yeah,
not
it's
a
almost been
Warhammer this
half a
time, maybe
week.
something else, but all the more reason that we should expedite our attack. So, I'm ready
Yeah.
when everybody else is.
Let's just take the fucking plunge and get this over with.
No trial like a trial through fire.
Tonight we dine in hell.
One-liner!
Full born into the abyss.
Catchphrase.
Etzler and Lucy fist bump.
As it goes for you two, and he's going to turn to the wild things, Eric and Tricky. If things get bad, join the rest back on the submarine. There is a gateway here, through this map.
She's gonna nod, and then she'll just go, and if we can offer any assistance during the battle, I mean, we're in this too. He like, messed with us too, so.
Pull yourself up the side of the cliff of Lake Ism. As the light from the lighthouse starts to get a little bit closer, you'll notice that these currents that you'd mentioned earlier coming sort of towards it, it's almost like they pulse in rhythms, kind of like a ripple. Just occasionally buffeting the circle and the square as you continue to drift in the direction of your goal. The sound sort of changes in the area, and you're going to hear,
So, I'm detecting some very powerful sound waves coming in your direction.
Can you run some calculations cross-referencing our blueprints with the suits? Is the extra sound pattern that we added in there enough to keep us insulated?
Theoretically, yes. I'm going to do my best I can to actually deflect it for you so you can approach.
Actually, Oblivious, if what you can do is actually deflect them around my main hall so that we don't cause any disturbances and any sound waves bouncing back towards the lighthouse, that should mask our approach.
That was what I was planning on doing, yes.
Okay, just clarifying. Thank you.
Of course. I'll let you know if anything else changes.
Okay, and with that, I'm going to continue the ascent. As these sound waves continue sort of rocking the hall, inside everybody will just kind of feel it as it just like shakes through the ground, just like the beat of a war drum.
And you can start to see scattered shards of ice drifting on the top layer of the water. This sort of dark shadow being cast down from the pillar of jagged and warped ice that is forming this lighthouse. And at the top, a light spreads across all of Antarctica.
It's look who it is.
You see a figure sort of crouched low at the very top. Little motes of blue light seem to be drifting around. Red cape flowing in the slight breeze.
Why is there a fucking generator over here?
Is that a generator or is that like a canister or something?
It's clearly something mechanical Tali decided to put there. I'm not sure what it is.
From underneath the water, what you can see there is a big hunk of metal on the side of that iceberg.
Okay.
Can't make it out from this distance.
Okay, how close are we gonna get to the base before we surface?
We could try approaching them through the water as close as possible, and then you lob your gyroscope almost like an archer fish to knock them off.
That,
Okay,
or I
look at-
could try to deconstruct the most thin parts of the tower, get it to topple over.
Not sure that'll... You see that it has another one of the spheres at the top, right?
I also have a bad feeling about that. If the theory is that he's creating something, that could be a cocoon.
The
Or
one
it
like
could
you
be how
witnessed
it's
with your
controlling
encounter.
everything.
Likely a bit of both.
As you approach, there's just again still as these waves of sound from definitely now at this point the origin point being the lighthouse, kind of rock your ship, making your forward motion a little unstable.
While we're approaching, I'm going to do just some simple mathematics to calculate the height of this lighthouse from what we can observe.
At least 100 feet tall?
That's roughly 10 stories. Corporal Allens, what's the range of those fire bombs of yours?
About 100 feet?
Perfect. I'm going to pull us up to the base. If you can keep pressure using those fire bombs on the cocoon, that should split Mad as Hell's attention. Meanwhile, the rest of us can pelt him with ranged attacks from afar. You'll either have to abandon the cocoon and come towards us, or stay by it to make sure that you don't blow it up.
I mean, you weren't at the South Pole. I've seen one of those fly around. Or with Lucifer and I've seen one of those fly around. So, if it just decides to go up, it'll be out of reach.
And you can see as you're approaching that the base underneath the water also has some sort of structure to it. It's very much like a floating disc with a central sort of spike of ice going directly downwards.
Almost like a floating iceberg, huh?
from the underside, it looks like maybe like a tulip. There's a flute sort made of ice, and then a spike in the center where like the center of a flower might be. That's the shape.
So it's kind of like a frozen vortex or like a whirlpool almost.
And I will say that the water surrounding it looks like it's vibrating. And the water in front of you begins to shimmer. Shards and parts of it get darker in front of you. Then there's a change in the water. A drastic change in the water. No, it's not getting darker. You're being sucked into a hole.
Aha. I'm going to rotate and get the shield arm in front.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, there you go.
Yo, that was cool.
I'm going to be spending one of those 3 spin in defense, and I'm going to be using a gyroscope to basically create a vortex around us to cause the surface of the water to dip down and get us like actually out of the liquid and up into the air.
Okay, sounds good. The fish is going to try and suck you in, so you're going to have to roll to fight against that.
Okay.
The entire circle in the square shakes. Sharp teeth puncture all along the outside of the body as it bites down onto you like a baseball. You're going to take 5.
I shall spend a resolve to negate that.
Okay. So, turning around, up on top of the spire, looks down at the ripples in the water, and it holds its hand out in the sky, and runes are going to appear next to it. Directly above you, essentially, while this is happening, your vortex, there is going to be a pocket of water that starts appearing in that empty space, and just starts to fill in the cone of air that is being replaced.
Oh,
alright.
That's just
Yeah,
rude.
essentially a deluge of water comes down from up above and just into the hole you're making. I think that the voice of Dead Ocean's gonna bite down harder.
Iron defense.
Yep. Oh,
Is it
yeah,
20?
okay. Yeah, no, its teeth do not get through that iron defense.
Emerging from the hole is a large black hand.
Taliyah!
Get him.
He starts like feeling around. He feels one of the teeth.
Big, sharp, ominous fish tooth.
You should floss more.
Tap LSR. I'm gonna make it unstoppable so we can try and drag it outside of this fish's mouth.
Alright.
This cat, Slug feels a bit malicious, okay? Slug is not in the best of moods. Slug's tired of this shit. Slug is going to jump down the creature's throat and latch onto the uvula at the back of its mouth.
Try to calm its emotions.
Are you going to try and calm fish?
I mean, it can try, but even if that doesn't work, I'm doing that for the imploding effect.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, you're latched on for the imploding effect. Alright.
I forgot about the imploding effect entirely.
Well,
Fight,
because
Slug,
its
fight.
mouth is currently forced open by grabbing on this gobstopper that is Elisar, I will say that that just works.
I'm going to try to break this lure.
Alright, yeah.
And I'd like to double or nothing.
Before you even see the roll.
Before I even see the roll.
Okay, roll again.
I'm feeling lucky.
Escalation.
feeling really-
Roll again.
Wait, Tali also
lucky.
said double or nothing.
Speaking of imploding dice!
Speaking of imploding dice.
It's 21. So, essentially, Rolling Girl jumps out into the water, into the freezing cold. You feel these vibrations all around you. Oblivious is able to essentially divert them away so your mind doesn't go absolutely psychotic from being this close to the voice of Dead Ocean. And with a punch, you send a hairline crack running through the orb, and you see it fragments.
Now that Encore has made my main hull unstoppable, I'm going to retract my arms. I'm going to fly through the back of the thing's head. I'm going to go through its mouth.
You want to just go through its mouth? Fuck yeah, dude! As the fish tries to swallow you, you take it for a loop and do exactly what it wanted. It realizes midway through, it did not want this. As you go all the way down the end of the fish, past Slug, pulling Slug off in the moment, dropping Slug back into the cavity of Circle in the Square, and sort of in a clockwork, like, moment-timed event, as Rolling Girl punches the orb, you erupt out the tail of the fish, sort of tearing it asunder. And as you go through this thing, essentially, the ripping and tearing causes a fracture of little shards of ice to fly out all over the water. And the outside of the fish, it starts to writhe in pain. as you pierce past its skin and expose it to the water.
Ah, I see.
So, that's a 26. It turns into a writhing mess. Mad as Hell holds its hand up, and the orb flies up, ripping and tearing its way off of the anglerfish, as basically what you leave in your wake is a carcass.
I'm going to use the rest of my movement to pull us up out of the water to the base of the lighthouse.
Okay. The orb from the fish does get launched out of the water too. Up this way.
Alright.
Mad as Hell, next to its side, it looks down at you, this wave and aura of fury sort of washing over the area. All of you can feel as the ripples and the pulsations. It's almost like the ocean goes from singing to screaming. The orb next to it, cracking and crumbling. You take it and morph it around alongside the butterflies into a longer, more functional form.
It comes again! Alright, rematch time. Let's do this.
And if you thought this motherfucker was gonna just sit up here and shoot lightning bolts at you, no, he's coming down.
Yeah, hit me with your worst.
Here it comes!
Putting spin into the ice to basically, in reacting to the impact of the Warhammer, try to strengthen the barrier in the place of the
Slam
impact.
in the side, you try and reorient the shield. It's not quick enough, and you go fucking flying like a billiards ball. Like such.
Alright.
Spiraling through the air, you're gonna take 4.
Okay. I'm going to spend another resolve to negate that.
Okay, it twirls the hammer back up around and to its side. One of the runes that it had grabbed earlier, it crushes in its hand. And it's going to point at you, and essentially a gout of fire is going to erupt from its finger directly at you. Basically like a flamethrower.
What?
Towards us? Okay,
Oh,
can I
Yes.
react to
able to
this?
use it's able to use the powers
Okay,
of the
as we're being
Oh,
flung
great.
past this ice spike right here, I'm going to use one of my arms to grab onto it and swing us around and completely behind this and use this ice spike as cover.
That's awesome.
I mean, we already have the unstoppable momentum. We could just pivot.
You want to pull yourself to swing all the way back?
We're going this
Wait
way.
a minute!
Oh
Wait
my
a minute! Mikey, you genius! I thought that didn't do that after my turn ended.
It technically isn't gone, right, Jared? The unstoppable momentum?
It's there until Encore leaves your range or moves its
Oh my
head up.
god.
Brilliant. Okay. I'm going to then, grab onto this ice spike here to redirect our momentum.
That's fucking
Back at
awesome.
him.
So your arm wraps around the ice and you pivot back around, essentially turning yourself into your own projectile as you bowl directly into Act 4. The fire all around you, to the left and the right. Your ball gets hotter, brighter, redder, but it does not falter as a burning hot red orb just crash through him, knocking into his face, piling him down onto the floor. He's gonna take 9.
We came out the gate swinging, Tali. We came out the gate swinging.
Come on, little man, spend those field points. I dare you.
Not gonna.
Here comes the second phase.
Happening is he's pushing himself back up, and he's swinging the hammer around in circles. I'll let you prepare for what he's about to do, because it seems he's just one arm swinging it around himself like such.
Okay.
Well, Larry knows what the game plan is, so Larry is gonna, assuming that the thing is open up.
Yeah, the thing is,
Larry's
we
gonna
have reached the
hop
surface.
out.
All right.
We got General War Crime.
Hey, General War Crimes.
You know the plan.
And Larry, we're gonna book it over here.
We can go hide.
And I am going to roll precision.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in here. Let's see.
Blow it up.
You're just gonna blow it up? Awesome.
He's either gotta stop it, or he's gotta let it happen.
Okay.
Let's see if he cares.
Let's find out. Let's see.
Lucy is going to emerge from Squarestar.
Marvel's and Encore, the dynamic duo for the entire series.
And Encore is going to start scaling this thing.
Let's go.
He starts going up like a freaking monster. Just
Encore.
sister, defensive position. And Lucy's going to stare down Mad as Hell. That's going to be my
Stares
turn.
back at you.
Swim through the water and use the momentum to launch myself. Launch Rolling Girl, jaw open at it.
As you fly at it, it's going to continue whipping around the hammer like it was, and it's going to try and clock you in the side of the head. Yeah, okay.
Judging from that reaction, I get the feeling I might want to double or nothing here.
Honestly, I
Your choice.
think you shouldn't because I'm not sure you're gonna win.
Let's do it. I'm feeling lucky.
Okay.
I did roll.
Reminding me how double or nothing works if you lose.
I
They
take
take
the
the full
damage. I take the full damage.
And it's an escalation.
It's an escalation.
Oh, Amy.
Imploding what?
There aren't any. Holy shit.
Good thing resolve reset.
I don't
Because
think
Amy's
it
about to
matters.
resolve it again.
I don't think it matters. You're gonna get smashed in the side of the head. Amy, do you have a response for 36 damage?
I could, even if I didn't resolve, I'm screwed on that one. This would be how I die.
Lessons in
You
backing
are
down
you
instead
are
of
the
doubling
one
down.
that chose to double or nothing. You were going to live and it only take 9? Good lord.
Is there any way I can aid?
Depends on what you're gonna try and help with.
Is Mad as Hell spinning clockwise or counterclockwise?
Counterclockwise.
When I see the hammer coming around and it's about to hit Rolling Girl, I want to throw one of the gyroscopes at Mad as Hell and try to transfer the spin that Mad as Hell is naturally generating from spinning around into the gyroscope, because I am also a counterclockwise boy.
Okay, I'll let you spend however much spin you want to add a +1 for each spin onto this for Amy.
Okay, how much are you losing by?
7 currently.
What's the differential? 7? Mm-hmm. Or is the max I can add?
I
Can you do something with that extra leeway?
You'd need a
Or-
+3 somehow. If you manage to escalate it, I'll just let you get out of this with a decent amount of damage and we'll consider that fair.
Alright, I submit my argument for sharpshooter again. I'm definitely taking a risk. Risk taker, I'll give you another +1. And then, could I argue a timing to try to hit in between the swings for a punctual and productive? That would give me the 3 that I need.
Elisar would lose all spin, and you're gonna lose all your resolve and still take 5. Take
I'm
it or
cool
leave
with
it.
that. Are you good at that, Koopa?
Tali is way too merciful on your ass.
Yeah.
I just know that I can do it again. The ice gyroscope flies in, you transfer the force spin, throwing it off. The hammer still cracks into Rolling Girl right here. The sound of the impact can be heard across the entire battlefield, as Rolling Girl is going to be slammed into the side of the lighthouse, and with that crushing blow, Seiko is launched out of the circle in the square as well, flying past the lighthouse, and on the way, midair, right here, you drop the flower. It is falling through the air currently. That is my compromise for not killing you outright.
Alright.
You don't seem upset about this.
Tali,
They're not dead.
I'm not dead.
Fair enough.
I know I made a stupid decision. I know I made a stupid decision.
God.
Okay.
I figured-
Excellent. Murphy, we need to keep our heads in the game.
Right.
I just dropped all spin. I need you to help me defend.
Sounds good. I'm good now.
He's gonna pop here. He's gonna spend his last field point.
Hey! It's a
Act 4 is still swinging the hammer around, and you're gonna hear him go,
God damn it, Bliss. This wasn't the plan. What the hell changed in you, eh? Enough to make you want to destroy life rather than protect it. I thought I knew you. Well, I know one of you. But I've got no idea what the hell you've become.
as he holds his hand up, and there is a and a splash in the water. And he catches something.
Oh, there you are. Right. Elisar, get down.
And he's going to go onto the ground, and using the field point, he is going to draw 3 X's in a row. And with a slice of the marker, he's going to go...
Finally. Want them both back. X's and O's.
Girl, I taught her all that I can. Showed her all the things that she didn't understand.
Yeah!
Till I let her
Oh, that was fun.
So, as he draws a line through that, an invisible wall of force comes up, and he's going to go...
I felt it when we were coming by. figured I could probably latch onto it the exact same way that I did with those. Essentially, once we stay on the other side of this wall, it's basically impenetrable. So come at me, bro. I don't care what you're swinging. It ain't broken through my axes before, and it certainly won't today.
Murphy's gonna hop out, and you're gonna hear him go,
Chancellor, are you fucking stupid? What? This'll work? You're leaving the left and the right side completely open. Hey, do you think he's got enough momentum to stop? Look at him, he's like a top. Fair enough.
there's gonna be a heavy metal thunk to his side. And he's gonna look back at you and he's gonna call,
Yeah, don't worry, Elisar. We got your back. Charge back up.
all around you as he closes one of his eyes and there's a shink in the air. He's going to spend a plots point, and walls of fire are going to surround you like such.
Okay.
Basically encircling you in as Murphy covers all the other sides.
Okay.
You do not feel any heat from it.
I have considered the possibility that he's not going to just try to ram into us with the swinging hammer, but he's instead going to try to throw it as a ranged attack. So first things first, I believe my gyroscope will return to me on this turn.
Yes, it won't be blocked by Ancillor, it'll just go through Murphy's flame and land here.
Yeah.
And yeah, you won't suffer any negatives from the flame. It's weird. You're not sure how this is supposed to defend you, but you trust Murphy, so you know.
That is weird. I'm going to hover up a few feet, so I'm by Lucifer, so that is blocking both of us up here.
All right.
And then I'm going to generate 3 spin.
Act 4. All around in a circle, still spinning, and then slams the hammer into the side of the invisible wall. And it seems like it's going to hold. He bounces it off, swings it again, and there is a like the shattering of glass as the hammer goes directly through, impacts Ancillor in the chest, and knocks him back into this wall. The marker falls. Blood drips from his cheek. He's gonna take 14.
Jesus Christ.
And it flips and twirls the hammer back, sets it down, points a finger up at Elisar, and you're gonna notice as wind starts to move all around you. Butterflies are gonna start removing themselves from your body. I'm gonna try and deconstruct you.
Okay. I'm going to respond in kind. I'm also going to try to influence the air currents around me using spin defense.
Yeah, sounds good. Oh my god, escalation.
Man!
You're able to hold on pretty well, but 2 flakes of ice come off of your outer shell.
And that brings the total up to 3 points of HP lost. Man, I am not doing too well. But Seiko could also be dead right now.
True! That is Act 4's turn, Larry.
All right, Larry.
Let's blow up a ball, shall we? As fire starts to into the side of the lighthouse, it will crack and shatter. Hairline fissures running around it, and the light gets slightly dimmer. It's still there, but again, it is cracked.
Shit. You know what? I look at Act 3. Just keep blowing it up. Clearly, I need to pay more attention to
Hammer boy.
make him pay.
He looks around at the reticles starting to show, and again, there's a moment where he just shakes his head and, like, clenches his fist. It seems he hates these fucking things for some reason.
Fucking die!
God.
Where does it look like the flower's gonna come down?
It looks like it's about to fall into the water.
Shit.
It is essentially going up and through an arc, so it had fired out and it is falling down like right here-ish.
Ah, shit. Hey, Encore, can the cat catch that?
Man, you.
Okay. Put over to towards Seiko.
Yeah, you find Seiko bloodied, chest kind of broken. There's definitely some broken ribs here, and she's hanging one arm off the side of the ice into the water.
Which arm? Frozen arm or the
The only arm she has. The other frozen arm's still
great.
on.
dumbass, why did you jump in immediately against the big thing with a warhammer?
Die.
Yes, but you can wait till he's disarmed!
Encore, running over, is gonna hop up here and is going to grab the side of this piece of ice here and kind of do like a motion of kind of like swinging from like a pole.
Yeah, to try and catch it.
He is gonna grab it in his mouth.
Okay, can you roll me speed?
Absolutely.
This will be versus the universe. You have Murphy in your party. Oh my god!
Murphy? I'm gonna explode that 6.
Reasonable.
That sucks. That I had some.
I can't believe that. Okay. Yeah, you grab it in your teeth.
Success.
Encore's gonna eat the flower.
Okay, flower's in Encore's mouth.
Hindsight, I should have done that from the start.
Encore, continuing the momentum, is going to jump up here. It's gonna like fling off and grapple onto the side here.
Ice cracks a little bit, but you make your hold.
Then his last movement, I'll get to like right here.
What you landed on there is the bottom of a shard of ice, so you basically have to claw into the ceiling to grab onto that.
He's got claws, that's fun.
Okay, yeah, sure, make power roll. You can feel yourself slowly slipping down, but you have a hold for now. Lost by one, you're not gonna fall, but yeah.
He's doing the, it's like Breath of the Wild where you're trying to climb while it's raining.
Yeah, you just like grab and you slide, you grab and you slide.
I'm going to take. Can I take out the marble coin and throw it back up to Encore?
Yeah, sure. And so he's gonna push himself out of the wall that he's also been smashed into, readjust his jaw. He's gonna go.
For fuck's sake. Hey.
He holds his hand up. The marker comes back into it.
Alright, you don't want to play like that? Cool, I can play like that.
He's gonna hop up here. He's gonna come up to your your wall, and he's gonna be like,
Okay, Elsa? You want to cause a little mayhem with me?
alright, cool. He's gonna take his marker, he's gonna draw an X on the front of your shield.
Okay.
And then he's gonna say,
Remember what I told you earlier? Force transferal.
and then he's gonna look up, and I'm gonna use his vampire ability, and he's going to take the marker in one hand, and he's going to say, Encore! Catch!
Smart.
And he's gonna throw it up at you.
Okay, that's smart. Okay.
So essentially what he's saying is, if it hits your shield with the hammer again, wherever you put an X will also be hit by the hammer. So, do with that as you will, as he's gonna launch it up for you.
He like fumbles it in the air. Got it.
It's just like catching it by like one pinky toe. Murphy's gonna look around at the fire, snap his fingers, snuff the fire out.
Okay, that didn't work. You're too fucking stupid to go for anything creative, huh? Right. Yeah, no offense. I'm out of gimmicks.
He's gonna scrabble up back to where Lucy is.
Yeah, just get behind my wall.
Get behind your wall.
Make sure that the arm is its maximum length extended outwards, just to keep Madisel at bay.
Yeah, you're essentially warding him off at this point, as he's got this low crouch, kind of coming at your defensive shield, trying to get around it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep that sucker in his face.
Okay. I'm gonna roll some runes. Okay, the Roman numeral 7 appears in the air, and he's going to crush it. And the air is going to try and solidify underneath your arm and lock it in place, turning to ice.
Okay. Could I try to transfer some spin into the arm itself to have it vibrate and shake off all of the ice as soon as it forms?
Oh, yeah, sure. The arm starts to vibrate, the ice curls up and around trying to freeze the mechanisms, but you are able to wrench it free and the ice just crumbles before it takes hold.
Okay.
Essentially what you're gonna watch happen is strange. There's a flash of light from the central eye in Mad as Hell, and it looks like he's about to jump. And then his other hand whips around, grabs the hammer, and slams it into the ice.
Is he gonna go down?
Essentially rooting himself in place and holding onto it.
Huh.
That's his turn. Larry.
What the hell is he cooking?
Okay, he's just gonna try to take an Act 3 explosion. Here we go.
Yes, he is. The fire coats his back, and he holds on tight as a little bit of the ice crackles along his back. And the orb up above hairline cracks begin to fall even further and further. Its structure looks very unstable. One more good hit could take it down.
Things without fire, ice, its own water attacks. Is it able to use the effects of its previous acts? That's why it's rolling multiple runes, is it's getting the abilities of its previous 3 acts?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna heal Amy.
You're gonna heal Seiko?
I'm gonna heal Seiko.
Sounds of ribs unbreaking.
Ribs grow back.
No, they don't.
Encore places it in his feet. Yeah. And he begins to scale just a little bit more.
You can see the glowing light of the shattered orb washing over all of Antarctica.
I feel like killing the orb is our best bet.
If you can get...
What happens when we break?
We'll find out.
I have no clue.
Because Act 4 hasn't been...
He's been spinning.
Good point.
Yeah.
True! We are going to probably have to destroy the orb either way, even if it lingers after Act 4 is gone.
Encore is going to... And he's going to take out a lighter given to him very early in the campaign by Val.
Okay.
And he's going to flick it, click it, have it light. All right. You can do this, buddy. You can do this, man. You can do this. You can do this. He's going to throw it and try and unstoppable its way through this thing as a projectile.
Just gonna projectile it with the lighter?
Correct.
Okay. Pierce through the orb. And all around you, sort of falling down in like little shattered fragments all around. You look down at the battlefield, and it almost seems like there's a scattering of colors all around on the floor. And little lights start to glow, coming out of them, left, right, and center, like sort of dewdrops in the night, or maybe stars in the night sky.
Ah, I see.
They float around the battlefield, sort of illuminating it, and as Act 4 is pulling himself back up from the explosion, pulls the hammer out, looks around, and it's weird. It's like there's a fraction of a second where his posture changes from anger to fear. And then back.
Find cover? That's probably a good idea. Get with everyone else.
I don't see anything Ensler could do here, so he's just gonna get out of the way of danger. He's also gonna hop over.
Good idea. Yeah,
Gonna try and get behind
over
the lighthouse.
ridge.
Over this way towards Seiko. So to see Seiko and Larry just be like,
Right, don't know what that did up there, but there's a lot of lights everywhere now. So, be careful.
Alright.
he's gonna look over to Lucy and just go,
Hey, so... think you can hold that hammer of his in place?
Yeah, my sister is able to grab it without, us being obliterated.
Okay, if you're able to hold it in spot, I might be able to just destroy it.
All right. I trust you on that, Murphy.
he nods.
Okay, I know what to do. I'm going to move backwards, back behind the ridge, so that Num is in range of the wall. So that I have the rotational sort of coverage of this whole area to block Act 4 if he tries to move in and attack any of us.
Okay. As Act 4 pulls this hammer out and starts to whip it around again, he immediately takes a 20-degree angle change and launches himself up into the air.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Okay.
Pulling the hammer around to smack Encore.
Oh, wow, he's fast. He's closer. He's closer.
And it's coming in, my boy. It doesn't look like he has any care in the world for not hitting the lighthouse, by the way.
I see. Part of me wants Encore just to draw an X on him, so the other part of me knows that's not gonna work. Encore is just gonna see him fly up straight into his face and go. He's gonna take the cap on jump.
Alright, and there is the sound like a gong smashing into you. You know that resonating sound in fucking Kung Fu Panda where Po gets hit by Tai Lung? That's what I'm thinking of right here. Okay, just boom!
You're gonna have to skadoosh him.
Alright, so, Duncan, I would like you to roll.
Nah, I want Jared to roll Iron Defense. 4d6 plus 3. Encore's Iron Defense.
Encore's Iron Defense! Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, no, it resonates through, and it doesn't do a jack.
Takes it on the chin.
How's the weather up here?
Act 4 is basically in the arc of his jump, slowly falls back down, lands with a crunch, crouching on the floor, crawled hand behind him, other hand over his head, holding the hammer like one would in a sprinter's pose, and he pulls the hand up, and again, 3 runes kind of juggle around in it. It looks like he wasn't even slowed down in the slightest from that. And also, his head's going to snap around. Let's see who he's looking at. He turns his head directly towards fucking Murphy.
No, Murphy!
Murphy just like,
Wait, what? Why me?
yeah, Act 4 runs its clawed hand around on the ice, and there is a rumbling as a crack begins to form in the ice, and the ground directly beneath Murphy disappears, crumbling, and he is going to start to plunge into the water, along with his very, very heavy stand.
Well, he's got the suit on.
He does.
It should just be fine.
That happens, Act 4 pulls the clawed hand back up, the ice starts to fold back towards where the hole is, covering it back up over, as Murphy is kind of clawing his way back up to try and get through the ice. You just hear a boonk, boonk, boonk as they can't get through the layer of ice that is now there. It's Act 4's turn.
Vampire.
Larry.
He'd probably just go in.
Okay, you're gonna run in.
Do or die.
We
I'd
sword
probably
clashing.
just try to go for a sword clash.
Okay. Act 4 is going to pull up as its head, it's still crouched, but its head will turn 180 degrees, look at you, its arm holding the hammer will twirl around, and it's going to block you while its body is still facing back towards Murphy was.
Fantastic.
Yep. Through the clash, there is a loud scraping sound of metal on ice, and a chunk of the hammer essentially starts to morph and blend as they are locked in combat, and fires out and pierces Act 3 right through the chest. You're gonna take 7. Fair enough.
Oh, Murphy. Lucifer is gonna charge a spin.
Spin?
And the area where the ice reformed, Lucifer is going to, similar as he did to tell the world that I'm coming, is going to come down here onto the ice. He's just going to start wailing it with a spin ball.
Awesome.
Trying to crack it open for Murphy to emerge.
Yeah, roll spin.
Go, gadget spin numbers.
Yeah, okay, you're able to smash a hole in there where the ice had folded up and over, and you can see Murphy as he's clawing at it. He reaches a hand out for you.
I reach my hand down and pull him out.
All right, you got a soaked angry Murphy. You pull him back up.
Not too different from regular.
Fucking hell!
And he's gonna snap his fingers, his stand on summons. As you see he's being pulled down as you pull him up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, force of gravity and all that.
And the awesome Iron Maiden.
Yeah, the Iron Maiden sinking basically made it way harder for him to get out of that. And he looks to you, and there's a moment of understanding. I was just like, yeah, he just locks his eye with you for a second.
Lucy looks at him, nods, looks back at Mad as hell.
Alright.
Okie I'm going to check a slug at Ancellor.
He's hit in the face with a wet slap.
If I had Marbles to Rolling Girl, and Marbles gonna throw Marbles like a football, and Marbles is going to try to latch on to this guy.
Okay, roll precision. Kind of like how Act 2's hair was, his head engulfs in flame, and he's gonna try and just burn it to death when it lands there, as he crushes a Roman numeral 6 in his hand.
Alright.
Marbles lands in the pyre. Marbles takes 4.
Alright, Marbles, that didn't go as planned. Slightly charred coin, angry cat voice in her head. Rolling Girls just kind of sidestep, following Seiko. Hide behind ice here.
Ensler is going to take out O's, and he's just gonna go,
If things get really bad, I can still use this as a last-ditch effort. I'm not going to yet, but just saying. Oh, you want to get in there?
Slug just kind of points a pole for it.
You're insane, but all right.
He's gonna flick the cat in, I guess.
Slug.
Do I have to do the wet slap again?
Yeah, sure. Sure, Act 4. Yeah, sure, it'll crush the Roman numeral 3. And a little bubble of water is gonna form around Slug. Okay, yeah, no, a bubble containing Slug slaps into Act 4. And the water just splats and pops. Slug's on Act 4. Ansler runs over and just like,
Okay, what are you trying to do with the cat on the face?
So, basically, cats weaken them a little bit. Just makes it harder for them to do so.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right, well, he's up there.
I'm not exactly sure what else to do at the moment, Ansler. I tried to do something and got a cracked rib for my trouble.
A battle of attrition. We'll just slowly take him down, whittle him down.
Made us a part game.
okay, Murphy's gonna take out his knife. Yeah, he's gonna try and sever his own wrist with the knife as sentiment lands. Okay, Murphy's gonna spend a resolve to not lose that much health. And as the wrist falls off, there is a gout of flame from where the wrist is, and essentially Murphy looks away and just goes,
Yeah, you're fucking better.
and Act 4's own wrist is going to ignite in flame. The one holding the hammer.
Holding the hammer. Okay.
He's gonna try and cut its arm off. Let's see if he can make it drop it.
Any imploded?
There's no implosions. However, the fire rakes along Act 4's hand. He's gonna take 2 as the hammer clatters to the ground. It's just
Take that, you sack of shit. Alright, he's unarmed. Get him!
Jump him, boys.
Put him for his tins!
Hey, you guys got this? With my arm, with the shield on this. Can I get numb up on my arm as well as I swing around?
hell yeah.
And
Wee.
it's like a carnival ride, making sure to keep the gyroscopes behind me, positioned around the wall. And I'm just gonna keep that barrier in his face as the hammer has fallen to his feet. Well, I guess he doesn't really have feet, because it's fallen to the ground in front of him.
Okay. Act 4 is going to hold its hand up. Wind is going to whip around. The butterflies that had started forming in the air are going to quickly come over, coat his wrist, and seal it back up. He's then going to reach down, pick up the hammer. Let's see here. Yeah, he's going to then bring it down over his head on top of Lucifer.
I see.
Hey, Jared,
Duncan, you know why I'm looking.
what if you chose to fail?
I see what you're
Do
doing.
you see what I'm doing?
I see what you're doing. So Lucifer is going to throw and dig the spin ball down into the ground, and is going to move his foot over, and he's going to try and launch himself with his own spin.
The wording on the Friendly Bizarre Field ruling says that you can spend 1 to interrupt an attack on an ally if they lost the roll off.
Okay. Lucy lost.
I would like to spend a Friendly Bizarre Field point to intervene with the defense from the barrier.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just literally, as the hammer is coming down in the most telegraphed attack in all of Antarctica,
Yeah.
with numb in tow, also hitching around on the arm.
Yeah.
I'm going to allow the hammer to come down square in the center of the shield.
Okay.
This actually makes sense.
Warning.
That Lucy is still losing this because this is going to get transferred to Encore.
To Encore, yes.
I was gonna wipe it off next.
I was just gonna mention he'll feel this, so Encore is still gonna have to roll roll durability, Encore.
I like how this does absolutely nothing for my HP bar.
Yeah, but we get the hammer in contact with the barrier.
Here's my durability roll.
Oh boy. As it slams down onto the barrier, nothing immediately happens to the barrier. However, Encore, you feel a crushing weight on your chest. As you are whack-a-moled, because of how this has worked, you put it on your chest, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to be knocked backwards in the direction you're currently facing.
He's looking down, so probably be into this pillar here.
All right, and you'll take 9. Yeah, and then both Lucy and Num also feel as their chests are basically almost caved in. And then rebounding off of the attack, Mad as Hell is going to skirt here, claw into the ground, realize that it was blocked, scowls at you, holds the hammer up in one hand, the other is going to summon 3 more runes.
Okay.
Okay, 2 Roman numeral 3s and the Roman numeral 9 appear in its hand. It's gonna, with a frustrated flick, it's just gonna snap the runes out of existence. And then...
Like his rolls.
Bro rolled trash.
Bro rolled
He doesn't
trash.
have any reroll tokens. He doesn't have the tokens left.
Okay, I'm swapping to Act 1. Act 1's gonna dive into the water, swim up into the water here, next to the iceberg. Act 1 is going to reach into the ice and reach into Act 4's body.
Okay.
And is going to try to find and grab any piece of flesh it can and pull it out into the water.
You pull the flesh out. You hear a sizzling. It's gonna take 6 damage unopposed.
Burn in your own fucking ocean, you piece of shit.
It pulls a hand over its chest and it looks over at you and scowls.
First off, encore.
Yeah, get that shit off!
And he's going to toss his spin ball into like the neck region of Mad as Hell.
Okay, it is stumbling. It is currently grabbing at his chest like someone having heartburn. So this might be a little bit easier than it normally would, because it's not going to pull back any runes. It dismissed those, and it can't grab the hammer because it's currently grabbing its chest. So it's just going to roll its innate durability. Okay, yeah. The spin ball is going to pierce directly through the neck, shattering ice and dealing 7.
Finally got you, you bastard.
It starts to cough a little bit, almost. You can hear a cough sound come from it. That's weird.
You may have dismissed those ones before, but keep an eye out for the ones floating around. You know that the higher numbers usually indicate the more destructive ones. You can pull them out at any time once he's manifest them.
That is correct.
Following up, seeing the opening that has been created, I'm going to launch my spin die.
The die pierces through basically the last little bit that is holding its head on. And you take its head off.
That's for Millie, you son of a bitch.
And it falls, hammer landing with a clank, and then the whole platform shudders and trembles. And you'll see, from the head that falls and splashes and sizzles into the water, the body sort of just falling apart all around. The orb that is its eye dislocates, floats up into the air, and there is a ripple all around. Flesh turning into a tornado, ice pulling itself back up, quickly reconstructing, and then before you what you can see is a hand gripping tight to the warhammer. And it's looking at you like all the rage in the world has been concentrated into one point.
Oh, here we go.
Very hit.
So what it's going to do, it's going to flip the warhammer up around, spend a bizarre field point, and take a turn. As, you feel like the entire lighthouse itself starts to sing. And oh boy, my friend! Yeah, you know who it goes after with this? The one who had downed it. So it leaps at you, Seiko.
Alright. Rolling Girl is going to try to uppercut and try to hit the hammer itself in the half.
You reach up to try and break it in half. You feel a shattering sensation as your claws are broken in half. You're knocked to the floor. You're going to take 7.
Oh!
And it lands, clawing itself back as much space as it possibly can, and then looks and cranes its head up to the sky. Holds its hand up, and you'll see 3 runes again. Oh, but something different happens this time. As the runes start swirling around in one spot and merging, 2 Roman numeral 5s and a Roman numeral 4. Chunk, chunk, chunk. That's new. You've never seen a Roman numeral 14 before.
Oh no.
Well, it's either this
Why
or
ocean's a thing.
It ignites into fire again.
I'm gonna GTFO. I'm gonna GTFO. I am going to GTFO. Yeah, I'm gonna boogie all the way away, and then
Boogie Wonderland. All right.
Then can I use my secondary to boogie even further?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I know when it's time to run. I know when it's time to run. I'm gonna go
You're gonna
all
manage to get yourself all the way to the edge of the iceberg.
Yep.
Floating around
Far
you
away
are
from
these
that
soft
thing as possible.
little balls of ice. All of them seem to be vibrating and chiming, kind of like wind chimes. If you weren't running for your life, it might be a little relaxing, but fuck that right now. And he looks back at Elisar, and he's just gonna be like, you want to be a kid about this? Ever played the game Stop Hitting Yourself? And he's gonna rush forward, and he's gonna yell up, and he's gonna say, Uncle! Toss me the marker!
Yeah, yeet.
Okay, he's gonna not only use his new ability to pull the marker to himself with a secondary, he's also going to catch it, slide underneath Act 4, and he's gonna attempt to draw an X on its chest. So anytime it hits that wall, it'll hit itself.
huh?
Holy shit, Anselor.
No, he kicked ass. Oh my god. Yeah, no, he slides under, he slashes an X into his chest, and he keeps going out to the edge. Stands back up, and smiles.
Nice.
Murphy, my friend, he seems to just be studying Act 4.
Okay. This guy likes jumping a lot. Can you keep him in one spot? I just need to get a real good look at him.
Well, me and my sister can attend.
Yeah. I'm kinda forced to put myself out here, so I really don't want to do this. But if it works, like I said, I should be able to completely cripple him.
I like the sound of that. So, hey guys.
Hey.
We win.
He's at max. He's at golden spin.
I wouldn't be so confident.
His attention is on Elisar.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Well, while he's looking over at Elisar, he's going to see that Elisar is lowering Numb back down to the ground next to Lucifer and Murphy and everybody else down here. And Elisar is just going to turn to meet him. Shield out in front with the 2 gyroscopes, again taking position back in the back.
Okay.
As he's passing them back, he's going to place one of the 2 rolling golds atop his central chassis, and place the other one back with the others as well.
Spinning
Okay.
crazily.
So Act 4 is now focusing on you, Duncan. And it seems like he hasn't even registered what fucking Ansler did. He just saw him, swung, and then looks at you. Fire is going to start spreading along his body. And I'm going to say... how much health do I want to spend for this? Yeah, let's go 10. He's going to take 10 damage as fire cracks along his body. The hammer is engulfed in flames, and if you remember what Act 2 does, because he's gonna come and try and smash through the ice shield.
All right. Gonna try to hit the ice wall specifically. Well,
Yes.
I'm just going to Iron Defense, and with Anselor's.
Hope the force transfer will work, so you'll get a +5 from Ansler because of this. It almost seems like the forces are equal. Escalation.
I mean, we do have another one. We do have another one. Judging by Tali's reaction, I'm popping Rolling Gold, and I'm going to be exploding those 2 6s.
Okay.
34 total.
So the cat pops. The fire starts to spread along. You can feel the heat engulfing your arm all the way down, and then there is a moment. A moment where a breakthrough occurs. And oh, don't worry! The force of knockback also is going to hit Act 4. As its chest starts to crack, I'm going to reveal to you what the roll was. As it's going to take 43 unopposed damage.
I'm popping off.
Smashing through the ice barrier. Smashing through the arm. Pulling in and bringing it down on your center case. You take 18.
Hey, Tali.
Yeah.
I think it's time. As the hammer comes crashing down onto Circle in the Square Lazar's main chassis, I'm going to spend my last field point.
Alright.
Right, the more we whisper.
Let's go.
That's how it works, right?
Folder did I put this in?
So, wait a minute, guys. So there's a special thing that happens with Friendly Bazaar field points when you spend a point to aid an ally in their defense or come to their rescue. If you want to do a monologue about Circle in the Square Lazar, the new roll is instead added onto the previous roll, aka the 34 I just rolled.
What?
Duncan wants to turn him into paste.
I want to turn him into more than just paste. I'm going to atomize this motherfucker.
You did a Zerg rush. We want to just decimate him.
Well, Duncan, if they get it right, I'll let you do that.
You just learned a lot about him as a character and what his nature, what his purpose really is.
You're a simulacrum?
What if the reason why they're a penguin is the same reason why they're circling the square now?
Because it was given directly to Millennium's protocol to make LSR.
He's got a USB port.
So look at the DAD. What does the spell simulacrum do? It makes a copy. LSR is a synthetic soul developed here. That's why he became a penguin, because when he died the first time, Billy doesn't know what the hell a soul is. Billy couldn't recognize it, so just kind of shoved it when everybody probably had it on hand. Simulacrum project, something similar. I think
there is more to his purpose on this investigation team. He was also sent here to investigate the disappearance of Dr. Echelon Hexaflake.
LSR is a copy of Echelon's soul.
Okay, Amy, say it. My brain is fried.
All this time, one thing's confused me about you, LSR. What do they mean by simulacrum? A copy? Could it be you're a copy of Echelon Hexaflake?
You are correct.
Oh, fuck yeah. I can't believe I figured it out.
The hammer makes impact. There's a crack, but not a crack of metal breaking. There is a crack of power. Electrifying golden light surges as I transfer both of the spin from the gyroscopes back to the main chassis in response to the impact. Light immediately begins shining out of the bars, shining all around, creating refractions through the ice crystal. Almost a funhouse maze of mirrors effect occurs, as almost like a spotlight shines out of the front of Elisar's chassis. And mad as hell,
still pushing down on the hammer, still trying to force through your defenses, hair burning, hammer crackling with flame.
Caught in the light, like a deer in the headlights, as it starts spinning, faster, everything around, all of the ice, as a massive whirlwind, an incredibly strong air current, almost like the Earth's dominant winds. A spiral of air, deconstructing everything in its wake. All the butterflies floating around the battlefield, all the butterflies have solidified in this ice structure, all begin swirling around in a big vortex as it's all pulled within the singularity within Elisar's chassis.
The Roman golden spin. Act 4 is not dodging.
That's a 55, and there's something funny about that number. 2 5s. Magicel has 5 HP left. What do you say we show him the 5th?
As the golden spiral swirls around the central centrifuge here, there is a time removing themselves almost forcefully from the hammer, from the lighthouse, from Act 4. It holds its hand up, almost blocking its eyes from the bright light, as it's basically skidding back. Its body gets ravaged. The hammer completely deconstructs and goes into Elisar. I'm gonna spend a bizarre field point to negate 10. Is that from Act 4? It's almost like its entire body is going to be starting to be pulled into the whirlwind, but it still holds on. Despite it all.
Oh, you're shitting me. You're shitting me.
I'm gonna tell you something, Duncan. Yes. You'd find really interesting. Act 4, it doesn't seem like it's moving the same anymore. It fights against this vortex, it fights against the destruction going around, and then stabilizes itself, holds its hand out, and turns into a long spike of ice. It looks like it's about to try and stab you. Act 4 is going to spend a resolve to take another action. Murphy, Lucy, Larry, Ansler, everyone is going to see as Act 4 readies to fight Circle and Square Elisar. It pulls the jagged shard of ice back around and pierces itself through its own chest. It falls to a knee and it takes 5. That's its turn. Larry.
Huh? I just want to pass turn dumbfounded, but no, I'm gonna fucking heal myself and just stand there really confused.
All right, Lucy.
It stabbed itself through the chest.
Yeah, it did.
It is going to take a step over. And does that protrusion at the top, is that hair?
Looks like it.
Lucy is going to take his spinball, and he's going to throw it at Act 4. He's going to go for the face, try and reveal a little bit more what's on the inside.
Okay. Pulls that arm up. That turns into basically a trident, spinning around 2 runes in its hand. Okay, as your spinball goes in, a blast of air erupts from its face like a force field. Escalation.
Ooh.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. As the spinball crushes back through its face mask, cracking it, shards of ice fall to the ground, crumpling all around as the butterflies rapidly try and recreate its body. Not quick enough to keep up with the destruction being caused by Elisar's vortex. It's gonna take 6.
I didn't stab itself.
Why is it trying to kill itself?
It's staring at you, Lucy, in this moment.
Are you actually 2 entities in there? The flesh is trying to leave while the ice is trying to stay? Are the butterflies keeping you here?
You're so
That moment of
close.
fear? That moment of
So
fear it
close
showed
to
earlier.
something.
Close.
But you're not correct. I'm just gonna say you're on the right path.
It showed fear when it saw the butterflies. At least when they were no longer contained in that central orb.
Those when we destroyed the orb. We've seen Act 4 use the butterflies on itself to reform.
I guess just gonna kind of watch this unfold, and I don't think it's 2 different people. I think it's 2 the same. 2 different versions. One's scared, the other is just angry. And the scared one just wants this to be over with. The angry one wants to keep fighting.
You're still on the right track, but you're still wrong. Ensler is going to stand back up, going to start pushing against the winds coming off of There's a Time. It's going to come up to Larry's side.
Probably flinch a little. I just channeled him on.
Yeah.
Matthew.
I've been wanting to do this for a while now. Thanks for standing still.
I'm going to spend his last Bizarre Field point.
Perfect.
Hey Murph, I think he's trying to steal your shtick. You know, the one where you hurt yourself so your stand gives you a power of equal magnitude. Or correlation?
And he's not doing it right then.
And he snaps his finger, and there's a fire that ignites all over his body, up his hat, up his arm, swirling around his legs, up his chest. And the stand's eye glows red. And then there is also fire crackling up Act 4. And Murphy's gonna go,
You know, it took a bit of experimenting to figure this shit out. It's hard. Kept forgetting all the progress that I'd made. Had to start making notes. Makes a lot of sense now, I guess, though. Fucking figures.
and his gaze then locks again with Act 4.
I can permanently destroy my own memories to ignite a related place in the physical world, rending both out of existence simultaneously. For example, if I cut off my own leg, I can burn off someone else's, with the downside that now I forgot that I lost my leg. It's not really that hard to recreate memories like that, so long as I pay attention to where I'm looking. I can forget even being injured, slowly putting my body back together, although just my fucking luck. Seems that the stands of radiant fire seems to put me weakened. Seems like it's the same thing Larry's using. Go fucking figure. That being said, memories of people are harder to recreate. If I were to completely forget someone, I could burn them out of existence until nothing remains. But I'd forget that person forever. That's okay. I don't want to remember you anymore anyway, Bliss. I think I once cared about you like a brother. So long, sentiment.
Oh, that's so good.
Please don't be burning all of Bliss out of existence. We have part of him. We like part of him.
That's a shame Murphy doesn't care.
Nah!
So, as he points at Act 4, the holy fire starts to encompass Act 4, and literally its flesh just starts to melt. Because, Murphy's stand is really fucking strong. Yeah, he's gonna take 11.
Keep him in one spot. I'll burn him.
Elisar.
Understood. I'm gonna start collecting, using Golden Spin again, creating an air current, spiraling, this time using the arm. I'm gonna make sure it's centralized around Mad as Hell. I'm gonna go up to the air a little bit, so that I'm hovering above them. I'm gonna have all the butterflies come down in a spiral pattern. I'm gonna start to try to seal Mad as Hell within a bubble of ice.
Fuck yeah, okay.
Avatar style.
Essentially what it's going to do is it's going to take that arm that is turned into a pike and it's going to pull it up and try and put it into the spinning device, kind of trying to just stop it with the power of the ice.
See if he's fast enough.
And freeze him in spot. That's going to do 23 damage.
It's doing damage to him?
Yeah, as wind also changes around him and strengthens his body back up.
Yeah.
Okay, you can see glowing through the ice 2 Roman numeral 3s and a Roman numeral 1. Man, that's some bliss luck. I can't even get anything good with that. Oh, actually, wait, no, 7's ice. God fucking damn, no, I can't get anything with that. Okay, yeah. I think essentially what's gonna happen, he's gonna just try and break out with his horse. His arm is free. And butterflies start to ripple up and around this cage that you've put him in, and then chung, 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 icy spikes pierce into his chest. He's gonna take 7 more. That's his turn. Larry.
He's not 2 separate entities, but he's not 2 different versions of Bliss. But for some reason, there is basically 2 things fighting in themselves. I'm trying to figure out what this is.
1 person, 2 souls. Like the good dog?
Pencil, I'm gonna need a containment unit real quick.
How the fuck do you want me to do that?
I have 3 X's in a circle? I don't know.
What? That's not it. What are you doing?
Remember what I did with you didn't see what I did with his vines, did you?
I think so.
I knocked him back towards Act 1 in the water.
Oh, are you gonna try and
I'm gonna try to grab his soul out of him.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna try to reach in and, using Haman with Act 1, grab the eyeball and yank it out.
Oh, Larry.
That's awesome. I think what it's gonna do is I'm gonna spend my last Bizarre Field point.
Oh, that gets that down.
Because Act 4 is going to counter rush Act 4.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, I was going to resolve rush to counter your eyeball. So I'm spending my last Bizarre Field point to counter that Bizarre Field rush.
Fascinating.
As you see the hand pulling out, essentially both hands are going to go for the eyeball at the same time. Mad as Hell Act 4. Mad as Hell has been this constant threat since the start of the game, present in every single way, building that fury up over years of ignorance. And its ability is already clear. Elemental runes that it can merge together to make anything it wants. Fire, water, air, earth. But the main ability, the thing that's been causing so much strife. In a 200-mile radius surrounding Act 4, it may simulate the effects as if the polar ice caps had melted, raising the sea level by 200 meters, drowning everything.
That's power stat geek.
Let's see how this works. So Act 4 has still got 3 resolve. That's going to go down to 0. And I'm simply going to roll 2 rolls. They're the same roll. Here is for the hand that wants to stop you from taking the eyeball. And here is for the hand that wants to help you.
Oh, this is close.
It's so close. But in the last second, it yanks you away, raking along the side of Act 1's arm, and literally pulls Act 1 out of its own face. Act 1, take 13. Blood basically skating up all along you as you're pulled through jagged ice and out of Act 4, and it holds you there, staring at you like the little rat that found its way into its base that it's going to pummel to death.
Checkmate. I spend a resolve.
Yeah?
Act 1 puts its gun straight in the eyeball, and resolve rushes.
Alright, let's go!
I'm gonna need the clip, can I roll speed?
Yeah, that's awesome! Ice shatters all around it, blasting it for 10, as that holy fire continues to wreath into it, so it loses 10 max HP.
Oh.
Huh.
Someone can get me off his arm, that'd be great!
Someone's been waiting very patiently.
Is it encore?
It is encore.
My little guy.
Look at him up there. Menacing.
Look at him!
For trying to be protective like his sister was actually trying to be more calculating about the battlefield, and he was waiting for the chance for him to swoop in and be the hero he needs to be and help out somebody. I think now's a good time for that.
Fuck yeah.
Encore is going to leap into the air. Hey, Bliss! Get off of him. As he puts his hands to his side, his legs together, Encore is going to make himself unstoppable. Let's drive you into the ice. As Encore becomes a ballistic missile and lands on top of Act 4.
And Act 4 goes way down into the water.
That's what I wanted!
Kind of struggling against Encore. And you can see, as you're falling with it, it takes a clawed hand out and starts to throw more runes in the air. All around you.
Breaks away and readies himself. He speaks to Act 4. He probably said something cool. We won't know what it is, though.
As Act 4 falls into the water, its entire body begins to burn.
Let's give him another round before we hop in. What do you say?
He's gonna take 5. And let's see what runes I get. That's hilarious. You wanna know what rune number 1 is? Fire.
Art.
You wanna know what rune number 4 is? Air.
Fire.
He stares at you, surrounded by water. And instead of doing any of that, throws away the runes and is literally just gonna start punching you.
Holy shit! This is the ending to Top Secret with the underwater bar fight.
He's gonna try and match blow for blow. Yeah. Do ya. Ah, shit. I'm gonna resolve. Ah, shit! There we go!
There are 2 times where he, heavy punch hits you in the chest, hits you in the cheek, and then you're like, oh, fuck this, and you just uppercut directly into him. I'm gonna lower his max health by 3. What you punch off of him sizzles and dissolves. Okay. You see a hand clench around ice, and it looks like it was about to try and punch itself in the face. Your turn.
Encore is seeing that, uppercuts work. As he,
Rising uppercut. Rising uppercut.
Razors goes.
Rising uppercut.
Ah, I see. Your weakness. He's gonna uppercut and bring him back up for people to hit him.
Back up to the surface!
Another rising uppercut.
Oh my god, yeah. Coming out, sizzling. I'm gonna drop its max health again by 1 more as Encore launches it back out. It lands on the ice. Seiko, it's your turn. You can see its entire body seems to be melting and writhing, kind of like you saw the corpses earlier writhing.
Rolling Girl's going to come up swiping. I'm going to elect not to double or nothing that.
That would be smart.
I just suppose I could take another critical injury.
Technically, you can.
So the spike could... Yeah.
It's grabbing your hand. Your hand is blown up. You're also gonna take 5 as it just throws Rolling Girl to the side.
Going full cyborg at this point.
Psycho doesn't have any hands.
Yes, no hands. You're out of chances. If I get to you next turn, I'm killing you. Okay, Amy?
Yes. Perfectly fair.
Why you shouldn't have listened to Tali say it looks like it's gonna kill you. You're just gonna leave it there. The answer to that question was yes. It's scary. I'm leaving.
Good luck. And Solar's turn. He sees the fucking hole with Encore, and he's just like,
what?
I think Encore took it.
Well, go after him!
I don't fucking up. It's coming back up.
Murphy closes the fucking sarcophagus and just goes,
That's your problem now. You guys are fighting someone, right? Oh my god. Seiko! For fuck's sake!
unsummon, resummon. Iron Maiden opens its doors.
Get in there and stab yourself, goddammit!
Thank you so much.
Literally, the way that he heals you is he forgets that he's killed you inside of his Iron Maiden.
That's so fucked. I love his ability.
So if you get in there, he'll heal you. It's gonna suck, but he'll heal you. That's his turn. Alright, LSR.
Okay, generating another spin. Putting it back into the gyroscope. A gyroscope is going to fly, going wide around the ice pillar, and it's going to come all around behind Mad as Hell, and it's going to go right through the head, hitting the eyeball.
Going for the eyeball. Let's see. 3 runes will show up around the ball. For ducks, a chunk of pure earth erupts from the ground and is going to essentially go up and try and hit it like the bottom of the top.
Okay.
Okay.
Damn.
He got close.
Very close.
Yeah, so he ducks, it goes up, it chunk, hits it. The top of the piece of earth is just completely sheared off. He takes 2 more max health as it comes back to you.
Here, since you suggested it, I'm picking you up, Larry.
Yep, okay, bye.
You're coming with
Looks
me.
like I'm going.
Goodbye.
Move to down here. Going to make sure one of my arms is in the way. I'm going to have Larry up here. I'm just going to place you on the high ground. Is that all right?
I'm being held by Golden Spin. This is kind of unsettling.
I would have transferred it back to the other one. I would have transferred it to the south one.
Larry explodes as he's channeling him on.
He does not explode. I transferred it back.
Like a water balloon.
Eyeball clinking like broken glass. Come on, man. Oh, come on, man. You can do it. Oh. It tries, it falters, it takes a stumbling step forward, starting to build up another hammer in its hand. Smaller this time, it's nowhere near as powerful, but it still is a fucking hammer.
He's gonna kill you with a hammer from Menards.
Your roll versus mine, or I'm smashing Amy.
Okay, well, then, spin defense. As he comes in, I'm going to try to overpower the air currents of the area. The closer he gets to Seiko, I'm going to try to deconstruct it again.
Okay.
Overpower the command of his eye. 20 total.
All right. As he comes in to swing, by the time he has landed next to you, there is no longer a hammer. He's holding something, it's like a stick. He's going to swing it down at you, Seiko. Now, please don't die to a single d6. That would be sad.
I could try to bronze it away by batting it with my fucking stuff.
Your ice club.
I'm right, I have a fucking ice club!
Yes,
ice club!
Oh my god. It's actually possible for you to die to a fucking d6! Amy?
Let's go!
Amy!
I don't know if I die, it's gonna be funny.
Jesus. 1, 2, 3 smashes down. The remains of the hammer shatters. Oh my god.
It seems to look at this thing just fucking tired. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna go not be bloody, and then I'm just gonna sit over there if that's the same, but that's all the same for you.
Alright, you see a 7, a 4, and a 10 surrounding it. Looks like it's charging up for something insane. Larry?
Take the shot, Corporal.
Here's the Act 1, just put its gun on the floor, push it in a little bit, the tip's gonna disappear. This guy's gonna feel the unsettling situation of a gun barrel poking it in the back of the eye. That feels weird, and I'm gonna shoot him.
Alright!
Dodge this moment.
Dodge this motherfucker!
Parry this, you filthy casual.
Very nifty.
I assume precision.
Yeah, Amy, it's weird. Man, your arm wasn't that strong because, God, its head starts to explode? 8 more damage to its max health.
Hey, Liz Howard, whatever you want to call it. BB, you got bigger problems.
Slide down this way, and I'm gonna run up right next to him.
Hardcore.
Star is going to hop in and around, and is going to yeet the cat into the Iron Maiden.
There. Okay, the door slams shut. Blood starts to drip out of the Iron Maiden. You're gonna heal 9.
Schrodinger's cat moment.
Is the cat alive or dead before until
That was why I was making the Schrodinger's cat jokes earlier. It's literally what it is. Murphy winces in pain and is just like,
Yep, there's someone in there. She'll be fine.
There's a lot of blood. Then again, there's a lot of blood everywhere here.
Don't worry, it's probably hers.
Lucy once again doing his traditional hit them in the eye attack. I would like to throw a spin at his face.
yeah, sounds good. Let's see here, he had a 7, a 4, and a 10. It'll be the 7. Essentially, Ice is gonna start to root your hand. He's gonna try and freeze the spinball to your hand.
Ah, I see.
So you go to hit him in the head. You most certainly do. However, your spinball does not leave your hand. In fact, it's incredibly close to your skin as you feel your skin start to be lacerated. Time to take 4. And it's kind of stuck there.
Is it supposed to do that?
Nope, as Lucy's gonna dive inside Elvis'
I like to leave it, and then I follow Lucy's example.
You're gonna also hop in? Okay.
Yep.
And
What
so
if we get
guys
Act 4
later.
inside? What if we get Act 4 inside?
comes over
No.
here.
I think I was wrong the first time.
Is something bad happening? Everyone's abandoning ship. What's going on?
I think,
Look for yourself, Ancellor. Things might get hectic over here.
I think that one over there is having a fight of its own anger.
I have no idea what the fuck you want me to make of that. I don't give a damn. I'm here to finish this.
He slides up and over. He takes
That's what
his
I'm
marker
talking
down.
about.
And he's going to start drawing 3 X's along the ground, and he's just going to say,
If you want to run away, fine. I'll make sure he can't fucking get ya.
I have no hands!
Great!
You should get looked at.
all right, Murphy is also going to come back up against this and just be like,
Okay, please don't see my stand. Please don't see my stand.
he looks over at the cat.
The fuck are you doing?
He's going to pick up the cat. He's going to hold it against his will.
You know what? You're right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, good idea, rolling gold.
He's going to spend a plus point. He closes his eye. A huge plume of fire engulfs Rolling Gold. Interesting. He opens his eyes.
I feel like I just did something.
Murphy has forgotten that he was the one with Rolling Gold. So now Larry has Rolling Gold.
Now somebody else does.
I don't need this. I have
This fucking ability.
Well,
Okay.
you're going to get it anyway.
Not all your attacks are Hamon based, are they? Stop bellying and just use the damn cat once this goddamn campaign! Accept my cat, you son of a bitch!
Well, there was going to be a big thing that I was going to do, but I'm going to have to attack him again with the golden spin gyroscope to make him spend that fucking 10 rune. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's
Okay.
about to be bad.
So yeah, you're going to see again come around. Arms are going to swing. It's going to go. Whoop. It's going to go around wide again, going around the whole place. It's going to come back around and strike him in the back of the head. And try to go through his eye again.
You know, Act 4, if there was ever a time... Oh my god! He holds his hand up. He crushes the 10 rune. A giant chunk of earth erupts over here on this island to the left. He's gonna take 25, unopposed.
My man, coming in clutch. Thanks, Mandel.
He's on a 9. Rends a hole directly through his face. The flesh again falls and wriggles. No matter what you do, the flesh does not die as the orb glows brighter and starts to pull the last little bits of ice it can grab back around him. And what you're gonna see is that he just kind of slams his hand down on the ground. Ice spikes starting to form all around him. As another one shoots through his face mask, another one shoots through his back, pinning through the ribs, another one through the hand, shattering the 4 rune, and holding him there, in place. In the other hand, Lily points out a single finger, and it points at Ancellor.
Encore!
Yeah.
Shotgun!
Come on, Larry. Come on, Larry. Defend the vampire.
Plot's point. To keep him from getting in water, I had given Encore my shotgun to keep in his stomach.
Right.
Why I did not have it this fight.
Encore, as you pull out the shotgun, you'll see 3 runes start to glow around Act 4's finger. And they all start to combine, pointing at Ancellor.
Would you like your boomstick?
Yep.
He's gonna toss it past Act 4. Give him hell, Corporal. Send him straight there.
You can start to see, running up and along his spine, down the finger, a lightning starts to spread. And you've seen this before, when Act 3 fired a lightning bolt, as a single point of light seems to be forming right towards him.
I catch the shotgun with my one good hand, because my other one's still rather shit. I then shift it quick to my... As I shift it down, I shift it onto the trigger finger, rest the end of the shotgun directly on the side of his head. Good night, boys.
Oh,
Explode it.
man.
Explode it, Mikey.
It's a fucking shotgun. I don't even need the
Use
fucking
the cat! Use the cat!
Fine.
Fine.
Yes, I got Larry to use my cat at the end of the game.
Act 4.
Yeah. And then it's yeah.
Looks at you, Larry. And there's a moment where you can see under the wriggling flesh as you're about to pull the trigger, as the lightning bolt is about to release. It's not anger. It's relief. The shotgun fires and... its head is taken clean off. You'll see as it stands for a moment, still suspended by the spikes of ice, still those little lambent forces seem to be trying to strain themselves to blast Ensler's head off, and just the smallest little spark fires, hits the wall of X's. And Act 4 collapses. What you're going to feel at this moment is the softest song begins to reverberate through the iceberg you're standing on. Lights of ice shifting as one by one the butterflies start flying again, sort of on their own, landing on different shards. And all around the sort of droplets suspended in the air, with nothing left to puppeteer. One by one, they start to simply wink out. And one last butterfly just simply lands on the front of Act 4. Flaps its wings and flutters away. And the last thing you'll notice is Act 4 isn't dead. There just isn't any structure left to hold on to. You see before you is a pile of flesh, sentience, and yet no ability to move.
Well, as you wish, Alisar. He's contained. For the moment.
All that's left for us to do is offer him any mercy that we can afford.
Alisar is going to bring out some of the ice crystal, some of the butterflies that he had pulled into his chassis. Seiko and Lizzie, you'll see him load him into like this weird, like contraption kind of thing, and like a bunch of like whirring and clicking happens, and there's like a little pipe that shoots out some steam, and while the rest of you will see Circle and the Square Lazar go over. And with one of the arms, there's going to be a little, like, mist jet, basically, that's using the same sort of strategy that Watchdog Water Dragon used before. It's basically going to be converting the ice, which had gotten collapsed into the singularity, and is going to be expanding it again and, like, flash freezing him. I want to so that once this platform collapses, just so that he'll still be encased in some ice, so that he doesn't have to suffer.
Still don't know what this is.
No, we don't. And I do not intend on figuring it out. Let's get out of here.
And so, as you slowly coat Act 4 back over with the ice, the singing is going to start to drop. You'll feel a soft drop in your stomach as the water level starts to lower.
Encore, you have the flower?
Yeah. Comes over, and he lays it down like he's putting her to rest. Yeah, no problem. I know that thing's important to you.
A gift from Millie, in case something happened. Would put someone back together.
Oh?
Not exactly sure, but that's a feeling I get.
You should notify the others.
Yeah.
Make sure that the sub made it into Lakeism nice and easy.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I want to get the fuck out. So let's stop dilly-dallying and let's start going.
Elisar nod.
Murphy's just like, yup, and is literally just gonna leap into Elisar, because he senses it falling, and he's just like, fuck this.
Elisar,
Yeah, it's time to go.
Murphy. Thanks
What?
for saving me.
He calls his head back out.
Huh?
Thanks for saving me.
Fucking thank me after you live.
Yeah, Elisar's like motioning everybody, trying to wave them back in.
Chancellor seems to grit his teeth, but he'll go.
There, you coming?
Yeah, just making sure we're all in.
How very you.
Alright. Once everybody's inside, I'm going to start taking them all over immediately.
Alright.
As you climb back inside, circle in the square, you're going to see things like everything that was like neatly laid on the shelves has all gotten like thrown around. The inside is an absolute mess.
Murphy already take the portal back.
Yes. He wants to get things going.
Understandable.
Yeah,
Sea levels are dropping again.
Probably smart.
Making sure that that takes off smoothly. I understand that they're going to be trying to use the Titanic as a runway of sorts. Lucifer, if they need any assistance in getting the plane into liftoff, I'll just let you know and send you over as well.
Makes sense. I'm sure Encore remembers throwing planes as a kid.
There's little wind-up ones with the rubber band, those type.
Alright, and I don't know if I want to speak for everyone here, but good job. You all deserve a round of applause or all that, you know? It's been positive. I'm gonna get some positivity in here. We've got one last leg of our mission, and we're gonna make our way out.
I can't believe we're actually gonna do it.
Alright, we're almost there. Freedom is on the horizon.
Finally off this damn continent.
Nicholas just staring at the flower.
How do we even move from here?
One step at a time. Right?
I
You go from the bottom.
suppose so. That saying's gonna get you too much mileage, you know?
I know.
Some point it's gonna break down like an old rusty car.
Yeah, right up.
I'm gonna pop back through and make sure they don't need any help over there. Oblivious seems to be, competent, but I'll just well make sure.
See if they identified that underwater channel at all.
I'll check in with him.
Hopefully if such a beast exists, we shouldn't be in too much of a rush.
Also figure out where in Lake Ism we're actually supposed to be going.
Hey, Elisar?
Ah, yes.
can I ask you for a word in a moment? When it's just us?
If you don't mind Tricky and Eric being here, I agree to allow them to stay here for as long as they felt comfortable.
Of course.
Alrighty then. Harry, Elisar,
Yeah.
well done. Seiko,
I mean,
we'll get you the help you need.
Thank
had
you.
worse jobs.
I do not believe you. Goes through. Num goes through. Oh yeah, hey, y'all can edge back with us if you ever want to. Over to Eric and Tricky.
Thanks.
We're kind of accustomed to you by now.
It just gives a small wave. They seem to be patching up after getting bashed around. But yeah.
Well, he may not believe him, but I sure believe him. Do you remember much of the vampire apocalypse? You must have been pretty young when that all occurred.
Not really. Not very
Yeah.
much.
Essentially, some of the world's military organizations organized ground units, essentially. They would patrol most of the major urban areas as a show of power to keep any newly found vampires in their place. Back from where I'm from, we have a word for those people. We call them terrorists. So he has most certainly had worse jobs than this.
The government funded. They're called the army.
Can I
Government-funded terrorists, yeah.
ask you a question based on morality? Millie gave me this, and I'll hold out the flower.
Sit over here.
She said that at least the feeling I get is that they could put one person back together. And at first I thought that was just meant if one of us were to fall, but no, I think it's more than that. I think it's put someone back together, as in one piece. I'm torn because so many of my friends could use this, but I mean, there's my sister to consider too, you know? I don't know what the right thing to do with this is.
Well, I could give you my suggestion based off of my experience, how those have shaped my principles, but you probably wouldn't fully agree with it. So,
What would you suggest?
what would I suggest? Talk with everybody.
Okay.
But, given that it is quite the conundrum that this poses, I think it's something that should wait.
Alright.
Wait until at least we're not still so far from being home safe.
Yeah, we're fresh from the battle. Thanks for the advice, Elisar.
Yeah.
You...
Anytime. Really, though.
You old or only a few years old, you're wise, and I'm glad to know you.
I still have a whole lifetime of wisdom backing me up.
Hey.
Even though that my actual age may be a digit lesser.
Well, look at it this way. If it's a digit lesser, this means you have more time to share that knowledge.
A strange thing that you suggest.
Ricky would stand up for a second and look over and just go, he wants to put someone back together. How in the world is someone supposed to hold that much responsibility?
Well, oftentimes when a lot of power, such as that, could wind up being a one person's decision, usually that doesn't end very well. Back in my time, when something so important had to be decided upon, it would be done through a democratic method.
Well, then I suppose she's going to the right spot for that.
Don't think there's really anywhere else to go, given this current point in time. Once we reach the mainland, well, at that point we may not really have much other than each other.
We'll get used to it. We'll figure it out. We can make it work. Like, it's not that much weirder than what we were experiencing before all of this, at least for me and Eric. Actually, I'd say it's a lot better. In control over who I am now, at least. You know.
I feel that as well. I think, even though I may not have realized it at the time, I think my prior actions may have freed me as well. Broken away from my programming.
I took you as, like, some scary all-knowing figure at first, but you're just as lost as we are, aren't you?
As you grow older, you will only come to realize that the adults, the older ones, the ones who came before you, we're all just as lost. Sailing away in this spaceship we call Earth, and into the stars beyond.
Psycho.
Yeah.
You step out, surrounded by familiar faces, clutching hold of a white flower.
Murphy seems to be stepping back through another portal, and you hear him just kick like a little lever, and he just goes,
All right. Weatherman said he's gonna meet us up there. We should just have a straight shot. Val, what the fuck did you find again?
"Oh, it's actually really fascinating. You'd love to hear about it. The water that we're currently in actually reaches all the way to the edge of Antarctica. Barely.
Oh, so we would only have a small obstacle to go through in order to reach the ocean?
Yes, judging by how fast it's draining, and Oblivious, correct me if I'm wrong, but the rate of draining should be in the realms that we could make it to the edge in time?
If we start right now, yes.
Wonderful. Starting right now is my middle name.
Meanwhile, Elisar floating across the ocean as fast as he can.
Yeah, I put you here, but yeah, you're making your way over as quick as you can.
If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah, you deserve it. After we put a tourniquet on that.
Christ, why did we keep bringing the kid to a fucking war zone? Who kept talking me into this?
Hey, Goose, look. No hands.
Goose is gonna flick you in the fucking forehead and then give you a hug.
Oh, right. Murphy, Bliss, Murphy.
What?
And then Murphy just kind of tilts his head.
Yeah, I was about to say.
What do you mean?
Stan deletes his own memories.
Merv?
Yeah, I figure I knew you or something. Whatever, we can catch up. We got a long ride. Come on.
He sits down.
Is Act 4 gone? Did you do it?
It's currently imprisoned. We had a fear if we killed it fully it would resurrect, but currently it's very inert.
Imprisoned in its own body.
It appeared to be fighting with itself at the end. Maybe some little piece of you was clinging onto some sort of hope.
Yeah, maybe. I can't say for sure what I'd do in that situation, but I know I'd keep fighting some way or other.
Alright, hey bro. I think we've had enough of Antarctica, eh? Let's go to Spectre Bay. Let's get you a suntan. Can you even suntan in that? Oh, actually, no, if you can.
You can't anymore.
You might roast his
I
bowl.
can't? Is that a vampire thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
standing in
very
the
much
sun.
so.
Oh, right, because the sun burns you. Like,
Here,
I love him so much.
Listen, here, in my bag, I think it's on my phone, I think I have Racula saved on there. You could probably watch that, get some ideas.
I know what a vampire
That
is.
shit's
in
all
me, but
fake.
Real vampires. I'm gonna go through the identity crisis again.
Oh, you have fun.
You've had one like every other day we've been here since we rescued you.
And hey. A little black fleck of ice flies through the portal and frantically starts to pull on Murphy. And one of the weatherman shards just simply points up at the sky. Hey guys, there's one more rule I'm going to need you guys to make.
Understood. Am I able to make it back in time?
That's a great question. Because as you look up, you can start to see lights. And more accurately, you're going to hear Oblivious go. There's no sound? Something's up there. So guys, I'm triggering savior mechanics on all of you. Let's see if you can get out. They're here. As the sound of helicopter blades spreads all throughout Antarctica, pulled in by the cacophony of the fight at the lighthouse. So, how we're gonna do this? We're gonna have a base roll of some sort, but everyone can help in some way or another. So I want you to lay out your exact plan and figure out your best stat to throw onto the pile for this.
Gotcha. Well, I think we've already laid out our plan pretty damn well before we went and
yeah, I've got a clear picture.
We're in a fucking submarine. We're fucking leaving.
But I think if we want to expedite the getting the decoy plane up into the air, Encore would be perfect for that, I think.
Military training. Can I have my brains for military training? Standard military search patterns.
Use my tech knowledge to help Oblivious get the chameleon thing going.
Oblivious is also going to use her ability, so I'll throw a d6 in for Oblivious.
In which case, Encore's going to help the plane lift off, and then immediately, after it's lifted off, transfer it to the sub to help us fight the current.
Okay, Weatherman's going to add a 5 onto it, because it is going to coat the plane and make the reflections more noticeable. Gonna do the exact opposite on the plane.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Can Encore make the submarine unstoppable?
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get it moving then.
You guys are gonna hear from the other side as the plane launches up into the air. There is a explosion midair. A cacophony echoes out throughout all of Antarctica as the aircraft is blown to bits. In the last moment, one of the weathermen flies back through the portal. Just one. As it rubs the circle out.
I salute you, Weatherman.
Everyone else takes off under the cover of Oblivious's ability, everyone's effects. Using the circle and the square, you find yourselves traveling through a block of solid water. Eventually, it seems to coast down a hill of water. And what you can see is a cliff on the other side, kind of like when you approach the Lake Ism. But what you realize is, it's not a lake. It's the ocean. As you leave behind shattered buildings, writhing forms on a clean-cut ending, the fate of the frostbitten that had found themselves swept up in the wave unknown. The good doctor's location was never discovered. Where he is and what he may be up to is still unknown. Either way, you're not here anymore. And that's what matters. Hey everyone.
Yeah?
Thanks for playing Mind Mortality.
I survived! I'm gonna crush a can in my head.
Barely, you little piece of shit.
I live.
I didn't really expect the flower to not be used at the end there, but like I love it. Leaving it open? That's cool.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah,
It
we'll
sure
probably have
is.
to talk about that post game because
That's
wow,
why we've got an epilogue.
that can have a lot of effects on like future campaigns.
Oh, yeah.
What we choose to do
Thing
with
is
this
whether
thing.
or not Seiko would use that on Goose or anyone else, or convince themselves they can study it to find a way to replicate to save everyone, is a thing.
I can't believe I'm saying this. That's it.
That's it.
That's a wrap.
We're done. Well, there is art. There's a little bit of art.
There's
Correct.
a little bit of art.
Tali, thank you for such an amazing story.
You're welcome. Thanks for playing.
Oh, this
Take me by
this
the
was
hand,
fun.
Lead me to the land that you understand.
There's a lot of open-ended questions, and I'm happy with that. I thought it would be a lot more tied up with a bow at the end, but no. So yeah.
We made messy decisions.
Yeah, no, it's great. There's a lot for me to talk about in the post-game because there was a lot that I had set up for that Mad as Hell fight, which never happened. So I can talk about that later.
I'm super looking forward to hearing like all the stuff that couldn't make the cut. Which of course, because like you plan on running this again at some point for another group, right?
Maybe. What is going to happen with the campaign is I'm going to be releasing it for free out there for any other group to run what the campaign knows. I'm making a module for it, I'm releasing all the assets, I'm releasing all the maps, all of that. So that's right, you watching this video right now, do you want to run this for your friends? You can check it out on my Patreon. Check out the link in the description. That's right, thank you Duncan for the segue. Anyway,
Yeah.
I swear I'm good at
If we
promoting.
do end up doing a video of like post-game stuff going over all of this, that's like omega spoilers of like spoilers for things that didn't even happen.
Precisely, yes. But yeah, I'm gonna post
Wow.
art. I feel a lot of emotions right now. This is fantastic.
It is
Okay.
actually over. When did we start this again?
About a year ago.
Yeah.
Seriously. Wow.
Almost on the dot, yeah. How's everyone feeling?
Fucking amazing.
If you like one shot the fucking
But yeah, I feel
fish.
pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, I wanted you to just destroy that thing. Man, Act 4 had a lot going on. Essentially, I could use any of its old forms by combining the runes, and it did that a few times. The fun part about Act 2 is I can take 2 damage, and for each 2 damage I take, I add a d6 onto my roll. That's why the fire nearly one-shot Elisar.
Oh!
I can't believe how quickly we fucked up the fish.
Yeah, so,
God, yeah.
I kind of blasted you with that
That's a
one.
lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. That's why I was like, I'm not worried when you were like, yeah, I'm gonna just kill this guy. I'm like, nah, I'm not worried. This will be fun. Act 4 is insanely durable in the sense that it literally can't be destroyed. The way to beat it was to just, I kind of have this idea when it came to the fight, which you'll see in these artworks. Here's the second phase, damaged one. I wanted it to be this sort of thing where you guys are fighting and fighting so long that both sides get worn down, and it starts with like huge punches, and at the end it's just 2 guys fist fighting covered in blood. And we kind of got that with Encore
Yeah.
Under the Water, and I was so
We
happy.
also had the moment with the guy swinging a stick at a girl with no arms.
Yeah, no, exactly. I really wanted it to be like the devolution of power. Like you start as these superpowers, and eventually at the end, it's just you're so tired, man.
They never got to use Act 4.
It's okay. You can talk about that later.
Game.
Yeah. And then the second part where it started to fall apart. You could sort of see the man underneath.
Oh my god, guys. There's a millipede on my floor. It's a sign.
It's her.
Escape from the digital realm.
I love the butterflies
Hey.
just kind of hanging on.
Tali, I have a theory, but Act 4 is exoskeleton, right? It's armored suit. Is that based off of the titanium suits that we were wearing?
I mean, that's what the butterflies were used for, so in a sense, yes.
But that's
Put
really
that out
cool.
here.
thing.
We got X's and O's.
Man, Murphy's reveal was so fucking cool.
He was so rad! And not, dude, I thought about it. I was like, oh my god, Murphy is going to literally forget Bliss. That is insane. Let's do it.
Yeah, Murph, you better have a good long chat with your best friend there. He's the reason you're alive right now.
He's
gonna
literally
kill you.
the reason he convinced me and Lucy to go save your dumbass.
Yeah, literally Night 2 Bliss is the one that saved your ass. You better be best friends
And then
again.
the other art that I decided to make
Yes,
once I
Lord.
heard your guys' plan, I wanted to throw together a submarine for you guys. So
Yeah.
Also
the
Duncan's
Cutico,
drop.
what's it called? The cut? What?
The cuddle pock.
Cuddle pock.
Cuddlepock. Cuddlepock. Yeah.
Cuddle Pock.
And then Duncan. Duncan,
The cuttlefish.
God, what an amazing time for that music to play. It fit the scene brilliantly.
Glad you
The fact
agree.
that this is literally like one of the last songs to play in the campaign is already fantastic.
Yeah, that was one of my one of my goals
Yeah.
for this character from the very beginning, was to have this song play at the end.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
With Elisar?
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Even the first iterations of the character that we talked about, that was the plan.
Awesome. I just fucking dude's even playing me for a fool. I didn't know that.
Fucking
That's cool.
Koopa, what do you expect?
I really want to talk about the other Elisar, but we'll talk about that later, I suppose.
Our post-game stuff, definitely.
Oh.
Because there is a lot of
He's gonna
stuff
get
about...
retrieved.
There is a lot of stuff happening with other Elisar.
We did not take him with us. He's getting retrieved.
Literally, there is so much that just happened. We have enough for campaign 2. Well, there is enough here to be a full-ass fucking, like, thriller. It's kind of insane. It would be a different genre, but like,
where it's like more cyberpunk, and we're like trying to undermine a big evil corporation.
Yeah,
An
exactly.
act, if you don't have an act that you have planned out, you can make it part 2 to this fucking campaign and just call it an act.
Learn Mortality Act 2.
An act.
Tali,
Tali,
Tali, let's do that. Let's actually do that. I want to play that.
The more that I talk about it, the more tempted I am. If there's still interest for it by the time that like all my current projects end, I'd be down.
Well, yeah, I know if you ask right now.
For now, hey, that was a hell of a
and
finale.
our big in-character send-offs or whatever.
Thank you for running this. This has been
welcome.
one hell of a time.
Again,
I think this is the first campaign I've actually finished.
It's the second one I've ever finished running. That sounds weird to say, but it's true.
Tali, this is some of your best work yet.
Well, I'm glad. I hope to just keep improving. I hope it was fun. I hope the finale was everything I built it up to be.
I can't wait to be like 50 and going like,
I think we do need to tend. I think we tend to build, as tabletop enthusiasts in general, we tend to build too big.
Hey, man.
Because we want to build whole worlds and campaigns, when sometimes all you can afford to play in a year is a module.
This was a step back for me. I literally was like, no, bitch, you cannot make a huge world. Make a simple little story.
Well, yeah. Thank you for creating this very reserved, small, mini campaign that we would get through in 10 episodes.
Shut up! Look, it's
It's
32
good.
episodes. That's basically 10 plus 1.
Tali, listen, you took a small area and jam-packed it with so much goddamn content. And if an animation studio like Studio
And then
Trigger
Duncan shoved in another half.
You guys are gonna die when you learn what the good doctor is anyway.
The hole? Is he in the fucking hole?
I'm not telling. I'm saving that for epilogue.
Well, if he is in the fucking hole.
Leave us one more.
Yeah, stick around for that. Answers to all that question and all the unused art from the Millie ending will show up in the epilogue, so yeah, stick around for that. But otherwise, thank you everybody for watching. This has been Learned Mortality. And I'll see you guys in the next campaign.
Fuck yeah. This shit needs
Next
to be
time we come down to
updated.
Antarctica, I want to come down fucking like November so that it's permanently day.
Never be afraid to ask questions. How can every religion claim to be the only one? How can they preach love yet fight each other holding guns? I think the golden sun might be able to shed some light. I'd rather push peace and knowledge to defend our rights. These leaders in suits tell us to fight for one side. You think they got their sons and daughters on the front line? Not down for war, but down to get an education. We're all equal, yet they push synthetic separation. But in this matrix, I won't be failing to make it. This is my cosmos, baby, space sailing with Sagan. I heard it's not where you're from, it's where you're carving your view. I heard you don't have to wear a suit to argue the truth. And so, who are you to tell me how to live my life? Cause I won't give this up. These are my shoes, my view, my cue to say I do give a fuck. And pretty soon I'ma bloom and it'll be alright. Every day's another chance to ignite. Cause I'm addicted, I'm addicted, I'm addicted to this universal feeling called life.
Through the region of maximum dynamic pressure. Yeah, they finally gave me a window to look at. Visual is go today. And ignition.
they spoon feed, but I won't be taking that sedative. Cause my thoughts are way too precious to waste on the negative. I keep them critical yet positive to break the chains. Every dawn is a new chance to make a change. Think about all the energy swirling all around us. We project it, we get affected, this is profound stuff. Earth is my garden and I grew from it. I pay the youth homage cause I know their views honest. Can you read between the lines of the news comments? Fighting over land just to take some fuel from it. I guess oil boils down to some cool profits. So war, what is it good for? Really, who wants it? Like, who are you to tell me how to live my life? Cause I won't give this up. These are my shoes, my view, my cue to say I do give a fuck. And pretty soon I'ma bloom and it'll be alright. Every day's another chance to ignite. Cause I'm addicted, I'm addicted to this universal feeling called life.